Hello, can anyone hear us? Sorry again, but yeah, welcome to. Yeah, so everyone can hear us. So hello and welcome to ALR Season 3, Round 5, Singapore for bronze. Now, sorry for the delay, we just some technical difficulties, but glad to actually get at least the end of Q1, unlike last week where we didn't even get that. So, yeah, a bit delay, but glad to be back. So as we stand now, let's see. Kamara Race is obviously doing a very good lap on 135.
Well, it's a good sign that everyone's actually in the session. No one's retired at the minute, so that's always a good start. No one's put it into the wall as yet. So yeah, if anyone could let us know what the weather situation is for the race, that'd be amazing. Hopefully, it's going to be all dry like it has been for the last two rounds. But Kamara Racer, setting the early pace, and Theo's pretty much matched his time. And then Roscoe's only a little bit behind it, about a tenth. But yeah, the top four are looking really quite compact at the minute. They're within a tenth of a second of each other.
A lot of those are top of the stand in terms of the championship so far. You know, you got Roscoe leading at the minute.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Roscoe today. He does have a Q3 ban, I believe, from last week out. He is leading the championship, but it is obviously a street circuit, and it is one of the harder tracks to overtake around. So, we might see Roscoe maybe try an alternative kind of strategy, or maybe say I've got to be more patient in the race, trying to overtake some cars.
Because it is obviously a difficult track to overtake, and I mean, there is usually safety cars, so maybe he can get lucky and get on that. But Roscoe, out of all the drivers as well, has shown that the difference between him is that he's quite patient and he picks his opportunities right.
Oh, as Lewis Williams has retired from the session, I think. He's put it into the wall just in the start of Sector 2, just after Raffles Boulevard. So that's really, really a shame for Lewis Williams because he's going to be starting, probably last because obviously. As long as all the other drivers do settle up, I think he'll either be P15 or he will be rock bottom. So that's really, really unfortunate for Lewis Williams. He didn't have a great week last week, I don't think either. So he's not going to a great start for Lewis Williams at the minute. But yeah, the race, obviously anything can happen, like Etan was saying, with safety cars and anything. As Diashi has told us, it's dry. So thank you, Diashi. He's reserving in the McLaren tonight, is Diashi, and he's a really nice chap, Diashi. So I'm happy to see what he can do in this McLaren here this week.
Obviously, he won in COBALT in
Spa, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spa. So and that was a brilliant drive there. So yeah, I'm expecting good things in bronze.
Yeah, he's a really good driver, is Diashi, and I think the McLaren team were really happy to have him in that seat for this week. Hopefully get some good points on the board for the constructors as well. But yeah, really nice to see Diashi in bronze here in that McLaren as well.
Yeah, and just seeing obviously the top three last week was Roscoe, Leclerc, and then Jamie Enright. Obviously Roscoe I think that might be his first win, other than because he's been in the points at the top so far, and I think he's just held on, but good to get his first win. Obviously Leclerc is second at the minute, looking very quick. Obviously Kamara Racer I think had a penalty last week, so he actually started further back. So usually, I mean, he was leading the championship for a while, but I think other than last week Roscoe's just tipped him. So I'll just have a look. Kamara Racer is 7th, so he'll be looking to get near the top again, get some good points today.
The championship fight is looking really, really tight. We've got Roscoe obviously leading the way on 58 points, and Reflection 15 points behind, which is quite a big amount of points. But 15 is definitely within reach. I mean, obviously you can do that in one race and close up that gap. And then Leclerc's tied on the same amount of points as well in P3 on 43. Then you've got Dylan on 39, only 19 points back. And then you've also got Marvsky having a really, really good race last week. I think he got third last time out. So that's some really good points for Marvsky, getting him into the championship fight. So I think maybe even a 6-7 way fight for the championship potentially.
Yeah.
If some of the drivers can find a little bit of form. Maybe they've not got to a few tracks that they're not really big fans of. But yeah, I mean, it'd be really interesting to see, especially like a driver like Crystal Mays, as he's just about to come across the line any second now and set a lap. Let's see what Crystal Mays can do. He does go quickest by, wow, that's a big margin as well, 7/10 of a second over Camaro Racer. So yeah, I mean, Crystal Mays there's pretty showing that he's got the pace in qualifying around here. And
that's a decent time in silver last night as well, so that's a very quick time.
Well, qualifying is hugely important around here. You need to be right at the top end. But so Roscoe is probably going to struggle because obviously he does have that qualifying 3 ban. So he's going to probably want to try and set up his car to maybe a little more loose down the straights and a bit lower straight line speed so he can overtake a few cars. So let's just go through the comments as we've got Carrot Goku who says yes. Not sure what he's mean by that. Maybe it's because we've got the stream working, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Sammy saying hello all. Hello, Sammy. Theo, hello. Diashi, yep, dry. Cheers for that, Diashi. Serious Mushroom, finally. Yeah, we got there eventually, but a few technical difficulties.
Last week microphone, this week an error, so...
Yeah, we're still new to it, so we're getting used to it, especially on the PS5. It's all a little bit different compared to what it usually is. Formula Movement saying, come on, Marsky. Now he's not a fan of this track, but hopefully he can do well after some help. So maybe Formula Moments has been giving Marsky a bit of a helping hand.
At the minute he's 6, so he's doing right so far. Yeah, I mean, just getting the 35s, I think, for bronze is pretty decent. So
yeah, very much so. But yeah, in the drop zone at the minute, we do have Vintage, Booty Delight, and both Cryptic Alibi and Diashi are both yet to set laps. But I think Diashi was out on a lap and he did get some damage. So Booty Delight and Vintage are now both out on track, probably for their last runs in qualifying. So that's it now. This is going to be their last run, so they want to get those times in on the board, and they need to make it a pretty good time as well, because otherwise they'll be out of qualifying and started quite far back. We've got Silent Shifting here now on a lap as well. We're just coming over the Anderson Bridge. So we had that really famous overtake from Felipe Massa. I think it's probably one of my favourite overtakes of all time. How he managed to keep that car under control, don't really know, but it was an awesome overtake in my opinion. And it's a very difficult place to do it, but he made it stick. But yeah, very famous part of the track is the Anderson Bridge. But Silent Shifting, it looks like a relatively clean lap so far. I mean, he's not doesn't look like he's pushing too hard, but he just needs to improve that time, maybe get him up to a little bit further up the grid, so keep him a little bit safe, so he doesn't fall out of this first qualifying session. We had a bit of an interesting race last night with the mask disconnect, so hopefully we might not see anything of that. But Silent Shifting's going to come across the line now, and he goes across the line and he puts himself in P7, and he does improve by 1.3 seconds. That's a huge improvement there from Silent Shifting, so that's more like it from him.
I think he's safe with that as well. So
yeah, he should definitely be safe. So Dylan is also out on a lap. So far he's not looking as quick as he has done in recent weeks. He is down to P8, and he's not improved in the first sector. He's marginally down, actually.
I know he's got definitely the pace to be up there, so just needs to get maybe a bit of confidence. Maybe just he hasn't liked some of the tracks recently, but there is obviously more of a half season compared to gold and silver, so.
Yeah, that's just you've got to make all the points count then. If there's not as many points as Ginger Rage does invalidate his line, but Crystal Maze does go quickest. On a 34.9, that's really wow! That is an amazingly quick time. That's almost 9 tenths quicker than Camaro Racer's time. Yeah, that's a really impressive time. That is Crystal Maze. He's definitely been maybe on time trial this week.
I think I have my favourite who's going to be pole.
Who's that?
I think it might be Ginger Rage. No, sorry, Crystal Maze.
As Booty Delight is retired from this session.
Oh, I think he didn't have enough time to get around again. So.
I think that might be his car on track, and Leclerc is also retired in the pits. But that's a shame for Booty Delight. He's going to be starting P16 at least.
Yeah, at least. That's if Vintage, Cryptic, and Diashi are all on laps now. So.
But yeah, that is the checkered flag has dropped. But yeah, we have got Diashi, who really needs to get this time, just any time on the board, because it's going to be it for Diashi. Unfortunately, if he can't make this lap count.
I think even a safe lap for Diashi will get through easy.
Yeah, all he needs to do is at least a 1:36.4. So go ahead of Lewis Williams, but Lewis Williams and Booty Delight definitely won't be going through to the next session anyway.
He actually does look like he's pushing here, which could be a bit of a risk, because one invalidation, one wing damage could see him out of this session.
No, from on board here, it looks like a really, he looks like he's doing a really, decent job actually. Excuse me, as he does get a bit squirrely on the out of the traction zone just after the Anderson Bridge, coming down the second DRS straight, as there are 3 DRS zones around this track. Just to raid that, overtaking a little bit more, even though it is still really, really impossible to overtake around here. As Vintage only goes 16th fastest, so that is Vintage out of qualifying 1. So it's only Cryptic Alibi now, who has invalidated his lap time, so that's Cryptic Alibi is out as well. Unless we have got a slight time desync, but I think that might be it for Cryptic. So it's only really Dashi now, as he's just coming through the last double-headed left-hander now. And can he get that McLaren out of Q1? I think he's going to do it. Yeah, he puts himself to P10, which is it's enough to get him out of this session. So yeah, that's Lewis Williams, who I think must have put it in the wall earlier on in the session. Out of qualifying, along with Smithy Almighty, ALR Vintage, Booty Delight, and Cryptic Alibi. Cryptic Alibi is going to be kicking himself for that, is he didn't even get a time on the board, and we know that he is definitely a quicker customer in this league.
I think he has said though this is one of his worst tracks. So,
I mean, I'm talking from experience because I put it in the wall myself. It is a really difficult track qualifying wise, but if you get it right, it's super satisfying. But you've got to get your car as close to the walls as possible, and it's so easy to invalidate your lap around here more than anywhere else. So yeah, it does look like he's got some left end plate damage there, so he probably did go into the wall at some point on his lap. It's a real shame for him there, but yeah, anything can happen in the race, like you said. Safety cars or anything can happen. As
penalties as well, we've seen the past 2 races.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Diashi saying can't find traction at the moment, but hopefully he'll get good grips to the session as it goes on, as it goes along. But yeah, so that's qualifying 1 over, and like I said, we do have Lewis Williams, Smithy Almighty, Vintage, Booty Delight, and Cryptic Alibi all out of qualifying 1, but so far, Crystal Mays really showing his pace by going almost a second faster. I know it's only qualifying 1 than Kamara Racer, but if he can keep that pace up, he's going to be hard to beat, especially in qualifying. But maybe even the race, he might start to walk away with it a little bit. But yeah, qualifying 2 is going to start any second now. But obviously, it's going to dictate what tyres, what driver starts on if they make it into the top 10.
And yeah, sorry, this track is obviously, because it's a street circuit, is talked about kind of like in the same sense as Monaco, but Monaco I feel like there's maybe 2 corners you can really invalidate or get penalties on during the race, and I think in Singapore there's a lot more that you can mess up or go wide to get more penalties compared.
Yeah, well, turn 1 you can cut the first corner, and there's on the exit of turn 1 as well you can go slightly wide, and even on the exit of turn 3, sorry, if you go wider out there. Again, entrance to turn 4 on the left-hand side, and then the curb on turn 4 as well. And then, yeah, pretty much most corners you can get a warning around here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what people are going to do, as Sammy and Ginger Rage, Diashi and Reflection have all selected the medium tyres, but we might see a few drivers maybe coming out on the softs and just doing a banker to give themselves that delta to go on the mediums, because you don't really want to be touching the softs around here. They can only do about 5 or so laps. I mean, on Sunday we saw Milan and I think it was the Red Bull of
Young Lights?
No. I can't remember who it was now, but they both decided to go on softs. And it kind of did ruin their race a little bit, because it's just track position is key around here.
And yeah, sorry, but even in the silver race, the 25% for me, I started on the soft tyres, and within 1-2 laps, you could just feel that they were just degraded so quickly. They were actually worse tyres to start on than the mediums. You got a good start, and that's about it. Oh, see, Alfa Romeo just stopped there. I don't know if it's let's let him.
Yeah, we're just following along Sammy, who was last week's pole sitter, and Sammy. I felt bad for Sammy after last week, because he did just kind of get a bit unlucky with the timing of safety cars, and I know he did get a lot of penalties, but I think it was a really good race for Sammy pace wise, because he was ruthless last week, and he was in qualifying. He got pole kind of out of nowhere. It kind of took me by a bit surprise. And he was really good in the race under the circumstances, but yeah, the penalties kind of cost him. I think he finished P5 in the end, but really, if it wasn't for safety car timings and everything, I know that's part of a race situation, but he probably would have got the win. So I kind of did feel a bit bad for Sammy because, yeah, that would have been his first win in bronze, and that would have given him a hell of a lot of points because he's all the way down in 12th at the minute on 18 points. That would have also propelled him right up in the championship fight, which I think Sammy could be if he finds a bit of form and starts to get some decent, maybe like 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of positions.
Yeah. He should be up there, really. I mean, there's like a couple races where he's shown to have the pace, and then through just penalties, because he does seem to collect a lot of them, or like Hungary, where he forgot to do his setup, even though he had an impressive race, like based on basically having the basic setup on, he still even picked up a lot of penalties through that. So if he just like focused more on just getting around on the race cleaner and not getting any penalties, he definitely has the pace to be up there in the points. So hopefully we see that in Singapore. Yeah, and hopefully we can see that, you know, with a lot of drivers.
As Dylan is just about to come through the old Singapore sling, which was I loved that corner back in I can't remember what year they got rid of it now, but I think it was maybe like 2015 potentially.
Yeah, I'm not higher curbs.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, it was a little chicane, but you could kind of straight line it.
I hate the modern version.
I like the modern version as well, but I really liked the old chicane.
That's where I lose a lot of my time, I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, you need to get. It's a really difficult corner because if you go too far to the right, you hit the wall on the right hand side, and if you turn in too early, exactly like I did in qualifying 2 on Sunday, you will hit that wall, and well, that'll be it for your qualifying session. So it's just you've got to get it bang on that corner, and it's really difficult to do.
And then you got to go over that curb, and if you miss it, you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah, but Dylan did it perfectly, and I think he probably is going to set a banker lap because it doesn't look amazingly fast at the minute. We'll probably see him slow right down. Yeah, he's in a 1:39. But let's see what Sammy can do because he's about to cross the line any second now, and he's probably going to put that car onto provisional, into first position. Yeah, he's done a 36.8, which is a pretty decent lap time on the mediums. Maybe he might go out for another run later on, as we have got 2 drivers of Leclerc, and Leclerc has invalidated his time, and he's on an out lap, so yeah, Leclerc's just about to start his lap, and he is on the soft tyres as well. Have we got anyone near the end of that lap? I think we've got Roscoe. Roscoe's invalidated, but I'm presuming he's going to maybe want to set a bank on these softs as well. Who's going to be there? It's going to be a McLaren. Yeah, so we're right on board with Diashi. So yeah, again, Diashi again. Yeah, he does look like he's. Oh, maybe he's just doing another outlap because he's just trying to warm up those Pirelli medium compound tyres.
Who's just gone on Reflection?
Oh, the Reflection has just gone into second fastest. About 4 tenths off of Sammy's time.
The yellow flag is up.
It's just I think it's Diashi slowing down a little bit, but yeah, I think Reflection. He's second in the championship, and to be 4 tenths behind Sammy, I know Sammy's no slouch, but 4 tenths is a hell of a lot of time in Formula 1. So he's probably going to want to maybe go for another again.
Marvsky's just gone quickest.
Yeah, by 2 tenths of a second as well, so that's a really impressive time there from Marvsky. He's number 69 on the side of that Renault. Lovely lumber. Yeah, so...
Well, Marvsky, I think, will be really happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really impressive time. I mean, depending on the other drivers' times, because I know we've still got Crystal Mays, who's going to come out and set a blistering lap time as he did in qualifying 1. So it'll be we've got riding on board with Jenner here.
Got a bit of a train.
He is reserving this week, but did he?
He's reserved in Cobalt before in Belgium, and he was very impressive in that race. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do in bronze.
Yeah, I think he'll do a really good job here tonight. Hopefully, it's a really difficult track. His Ginger Age is still in the pits. He's choosing to go late on those medium tyres.
I think we'll just see him doing a 1 run, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't invalidate that lap because it's so important around here to get it. I think you're probably better off getting it done early and then seeing what's what later on. But yeah, we've got Roscoe on the soft tyres. He's going to come into the pits, so he's probably just doing a banker, but he hasn't got that delta, unfortunately, for him. So unless he did just mess up his lap a little bit.
Well, I think we have see Roscoe's got a ban, a qualifying ban.
Yeah, qualifying 3 ban, but he still obviously if he does make it through. He will have to start on those tyres as well because he'll retire in the Q3. So yeah, Leclerc is 3 tenths down on his time, and he's on another lap on the softs as well. So what else have we got going on track? Diashi's 7 seconds up on his time. So yeah, that was really well. Obviously, clearly a banker from Diashi on his first run. So 7 seconds would currently put him about 1:41. So he's going to have to really do a really decent last sector. Because he needs probably a lot more out of it than that, but he's not even going to jump up any of the order. But yeah, he's going to come across the line now. He's going to put that McLaren up into P2. So he really made up for it the last sector. He's done a 36.6, which is almost on top of Marvsky's time. So that's really more impressive from Diashi. Maybe he's getting better grips with the rear end of that McLaren after qualifying 1, or maybe these medium tyres just suit him a lot better. Who really knows? Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm just excited to see who can get through here. Obviously, Kamara Racers on an outlap are still on the softs. That's a bit weird. I don't know whether he's going to go for a time on those, because you'd expect him to already have set an outlap. So maybe he is going for a sort of soft run.
I think he might be just getting a delta in because he has got about. Well, I know we've got a bit of a time sink, but there's about 7 seconds left in the session.
7 minutes.
7 minutes, sorry, yeah, not 7 seconds. Yeah, so he's probably just going to get a time on the board and then make it a slow lap and then come out on the mediums right at the very end and hope that he does get through and goes quicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't seen that many people have set times yet. About half the grid so far.
Yeah, only 7 drivers at the minute. Well, exactly half the drivers left in qualifying.
So I think a lot of drivers are gambling it. So we could see a lot of people just pushing a bit too hard at the end and not setting a time. So that could. It might be worth the gamble because you'll obviously have fresher mediums at the end, which could, be the make or break. But I think we're going to have Crystal Maze coming around here. I think he'll be setting a banker, so I don't think this will actually be a very good time for him. Yeah, he's
about a 1:37, which is still a pretty decent lap time. I mean, compared to the other drivers on the mediums, but we did see him go ridiculously quicker than anyone else, about a second.
I mean, a banker lap for him seems to be a very competitive time anyway. So.
Yeah, the mediums quite a lot of the delta was quite big between the softs and the mediums around here. So I think he did a 1:34, 34.8. I think it might have been 34.9 in Q1, and I think the delta was about 8 tenths. So yeah, I think he probably can get into the 35s. You probably think on the mediums, which would be really really impressive. As we've got is that Shadows just starting his lap? Yep, Shadows is just starting his lap. And then there's Kamara Racer, who's just coming across the line now. He's on softs, and he's done that's a 34.7 from Kamara Racer, so I don't think he's going to beat that on mediums anytime soon. No, not unless he suddenly gets a huge rocket ship in the back of that Alfa Romeo.
So that's going to be an interesting tactic. Maybe he's going to do softs, and maybe like 5 to 7 laps, see how they feel, then do medium, you think?
Well, I think you can only probably get about 5 or 6 laps out of softs, so yeah. I think he's starting on those softs. I think you're pretty much confirming yourself onto a 2-stop or a really slow 1-stop on old worn softs to old worn hard tyres. So
I feel the problem if he's going to go for that 2-stop strategy is he's going to come out either behind traffic or in traffic, depending on how good those softs were. So I don't think it might. I mean, I wouldn't personally go.
Even
for
if
that
he
strategy.
does get pole position and as an early safety car and he puts on the mediums, that's going to drop him right back to the end of the back of the grid, and then he can do mediums to the end, obviously. But yeah, track position is so important around here. So
I mean, if his thinking is maybe he can gain that much time to then
walk away with it.
Maybe
free air, maybe
pit in front of everyone. Which it'd be incredible if you could make that much time up on those softs.
Well, the pit lane limiter is obviously a lot slower around a street circuit like here and Monaco than its other tracks, which does make the pit lane a little bit longer. I think it's probably about a 23-4 second pit stop around here. It's quite a long one.
And then you have obviously the entrance to it, and it's quite like an awkward long exit as well.
Yeah,
so that adds to it as well. So it's not one of the shortest pits. But I mean, it's more interesting for the viewers than us to see maybe possibly like 3 different strategies. Maybe people outside the top 10 starting on hards. But that'll be interesting to see.
I think it's one of the tracks that you don't really want to try and do the reverse strategy, mainly because the likelihood of a safety car, especially when the pack is really bunched up, you will see. It's very likely a safety car is caused quite easily around here, even with a car like half spinning or just a bit of wing damage, just because as Kamara Racer's retired in the pit. So yeah, he's pretty happy with that lap time. Doesn't think he's going to be able to beat it. I don't think anyone can touch it either. Maybe Crystal Maze if he does decide softs, but I doubt he will because he has selected the medium tyres. But yeah, so you're better off starting on the mediums because the hards can go. Is that Marvsky improved? Oh no, Roscoe's gone up to P3 in that Ferrari, so that's a really, really good time for Roscoe on the medium compound tyres as well. Just fractionally behind Marvsky. So I think that's quite showing how quick Marvsky might be around here, especially in qualifying trim. he's the quickest of the medium runners so far, and Sammy's done 3 laps now on these medium tyres, which is a bit. Well, the tyre wear is quite big around here, and they can only do about 15 laps at a push. 11 or 12 laps is optimal, and that's only if you've only done the 1 lap on him. And Sammy's on 3 laps now, so he's probably only might be only to get about 10 or 11 laps out of them, which is all right. But they will be very worn at the start of the race if he does make it through.
Obviously, you have got. He is sort of maybe in that danger zone if the rest of the pack seem to go on softs, but I would still say he's safe because you wouldn't really think of going on the softs unless.
Well, you do have 3 drivers that are relatively quick that haven't set a time yet, so that would push Sammy down to P8. So that he is in the danger zone, I'd probably say. I think everyone above Diashi probably is safe. Diashi could be as well, but it's just a touch and go. So I think everyone, below Diashi is going to have to come out and set a lap time.
Yeah, I think Crystal Maze is obviously going to go maybe above and be the best of the medium runners. Obviously he set that's a banker lap for him.
And Sammy's coming up to a lot of traffic now. He is on a fast lap as well, so hopefully they can get out this way. Yeah, they did maybe slow him down a little bit, so Sammy might not be very happy with the way that the traffic's getting out of his way. It's really distracting when you've got cars ahead of you on your especially when you're on a really, really quick lap. Because instead of thinking of your braking zones as you're turning in points, you are thinking of what the cars ahead of you are doing. As Diashi is, he's happy with his time. He has retired in the pits, so we're not going to see him out again. So hopefully that time's safe from Diashi. But Sammy's in across the line. Can he improve on his lap time? He doesn't. He is about a tenth and a half down. But I think he's going to go for another run. So that's another lap he's going to do on those medium compound tyres. And if he does make it through, these tyres are going to be so worn now, Sammy. I know he doesn't want to touch those softs, but yeah, you're really eating into your tyre wear going into the race.
I think he's really going to hurt himself from here. I would just protect those mediums at all costs and risk it, because I don't think you're just harming your race tyre at this point. So.
Yeah, definitely. As Ginger Rage is coming through the last couple of corners now, and where can he put that Williams on his? Well, he's only have one at flying run.
Ooh.
Only P9, but he might have enough fuel on board to go for another run. I think that's exactly what he is doing. It doesn't look like he's. Oh, is he? No, I think he's gone too wide into turn 3 there. He is still. No, that's it for Ginger Rage. So he's only in P9. So it's going to be really squeaky bum time for him now.
I mean, the pressure is on for all the other drivers with Theo, Idillan, and that, and obviously Leclerc. Can all maybe go faster than that.
Yeah, I think that might be Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc's now just coming through the last couple of corners. He's going to push Jenner out potentially. Yep, Jenner is out on an outlap, but Leclerc puts that car in P2. That's a really good time on the mediums there. Is that Jenner now just starting his lap? Yeah, and so that McLaren there, is that silent shifting? I believe it is. Yep, and he's going to be the next one to come across the line in a minute.
I think there's a Red Bull in front. Is that?
No, but that's silent shifting, pulling over to the side and probably going into the pits. So then we've got Reflection, who's Theo now. Sorry, Theo's going to come across the line, and he's going to put that car into P3, which pushes Ginger Rage out of qualifying 2. And then Sammy goes wide on the last corner.
Crystal Maze just gone the faster than the mediums as well.
Yeah, Crystal Maze puts that Ferrari up into P2, which is a really good time.
Dylan's just gone 3rd fastest on those mediums. Very good time.
Yeah, so that's going to be I think that might be it. I think that's all the time's done.
Reflection, is he in the pits there?
Yeah, Reflection's in the pits. So he must have invalidated his lap, I think, Reflection did.
He's going to be disappointed with that.
Yeah, so that's Reflection, Ginger Age, Shadders, all those 4 drivers are out.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
They're out of qualifying 2, unfortunately. I don't think Reflection managed to set another lap time after his banker run, which second in the championship and starting P14. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult race ahead of Reflection. It is possible, not to brag again, but I did start P13 and did win, so anything is possible around here if you've got the right strategy, maybe a bit of luck on your side with safety cars and everything, but definitely is possible. I mean, the race, anything can happen, so yeah, if they do the alternative strategies, potentially to the cars ahead.
Look at that Crystal Maze time on those mediums.
Yeah, about
such an impressive time.
6 attempts quicker than Dylan.
I don't know what time was that. 34.7 from Kamara on the
softs.
On
the
really
softs.
Good as well.
So I think Crystal Maze and Kamara Race are probably going to be the 2 favourites for pole position in qualifying 3. It's going to be really interesting to see the fight between the 2 Ferrari-powered cars.
Obviously, Roscoe, he's going to have to probably be P10 if he has a Q3 ban. So that's, I mean, usually the fastest or the best car or best team in bronze so far is the Ferrari. So Roscoe's gonna have to make up some positions, but yeah, we've only got one soft runner who's going to start in the top 10, which I think is going to be very interesting. Obviously, especially if he doesn't qualify out ahead, and if he's behind people, then he's going to have to make up those positions very fast, which be interesting to see. I don't think or shouldn't see any other soft runners, but see what other people choose. Maybe they'll opt for the double strategy, seeing what Kamara Racing, maybe they'll be tempted to do it as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But I feel like it's going to be interesting to see Kamara Racer's strategy. And this is also good for COBALT people watching, because you can see basically what every strategy will do, basically.
Yeah, because obviously, like you said, you've got Kamara on the softs, and then the rest of the top 10 making it through all on the mediums. And we'll probably see a few drivers outside the top 10, maybe starting on the hards, you'd probably think. See, I think Sammy on those 5-lap hold mediums made it through as well, so Sammy's going to have a really, really tough race, I think. Because I think he's probably going to be able to get... He might have probably been better off coming and putting on the softs, to be honest, with the amount of wear that he's probably going to have on those medium tyres.
Yeah, he's going to have to make those hards last, I think, compared to everyone else.
Yeah, definitely, and he's probably going to have to hope for a safety car, is Sammy. But yeah, so that shatters Ginger Age and Jenna and Reflection all out of qualifying 2, as Kamara Racer was the only driver to go through on the soft tyres, and the rest of them all on mediums. But Sammy doing a whopping 5 laps on his medium tyres. Yeah, he's gonna obviously he'll have to start on those tyres for the race. And I think everyone else only did about two laps, or at least 1 or 2 laps on their tyres, and then obviously everyone else outside the top 10 will be on fresh tyres for the race. So yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if I think the biggest question mark is how far can Kamara Racer get up the pecking order, because he's going to want to be nearest the top possible, because starting on those softs you don't want to be behind too many cars for too long, because you'll just waste time and grip. So that's coming from experience last night for me. So in the 25% race, I was behind. I think I started P6 in that short race, and I just couldn't get the best out of the softs. And before long, they were just gone, and you couldn't. It was just a waste of time.
Yeah, the softs really aren't a race tyre around here, are they? They're just a qualifying tyre, really. So I think Kamara maybe might have already messed up his race a little bit. Wanting to start on those softs just because they're not very good. Well, the durability of them is just really, really appalling.
But with safety cars, I think maybe you could make it work. But that's just purely a gamble.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like this around. It's just such a hot, sticky track, and I think Pirelli probably should bump up the tyre compounds, and maybe I don't know what they are using. So I don't know. I'm presuming they've got the softest compounds. They probably want to use the C4 probably, maybe, or the C3 as the soft tyre, just so it gives us a bit more variation in strategy, because when the soft tyres aren't really useful, it just basically makes it into a boring one-stop race. So I don't know if Pirelli will change that for the next game, or even in real life. I know the tyres are different in real life now. They're obviously a lot heavier and less durable, as we saw in Bahrain in real life, the first round of the real Grand Prix.
That'll be interesting to see on the next game if they carry it over. Tyre strategies might be completely different.
Oh yeah, the next game would be a completely different learning curve. But we're here right now around Singapore. The softs just are not good tyre to be using in the race around Singapore. I mean, yeah, unless there is even a late safety car, I still think I'd rather be on the mediums, just because you can push them so much longer that after 1 or 2 laps, those softs just hit a massive cliff and they just start to degrade so quickly. So yeah, just looking through the comments. What have we got? So, Serious Mushroom wishing Theo good luck. Yeah, Theo I think he's done a really good job so far, Theo. I mean, he had that really, really good race out in Spa.
Yeah, and brilliant overtake.
Yeah, my personal overtake of the season in the wet. He did a really good switchback move, and it was just really, really nice to see some really, really good overtaking and clean racing. And we've seen that pretty much week in, week out at the minute. There's been a lot of really good, clean racing. As Sammy's decided to start his lap, and he's really quite close to the back of Dylan.
Maybe he's going to get the slipstream, but...
Yeah, but it's just, over the course of the lap, he's going to lose more time than he's going to gain just by sitting in his slipstream and down the straights. So I think Sammy probably wanted to be a bit further behind him.
He had time to slow down. Maybe it's just a banker lap from him and he's not too bothered. But
yeah, but you never know. You might invalidate your second lap. You're better off just spacing yourself out. There's plenty of track for 10 cars. So Sammy's only really going to hurt his own lap time around here, I think. But we'll see what he does. I mean, you never know. Everyone else might mess up their lap, and it might be a good lap from Sammy. You just don't know. But yeah, Dylan.
The 38 is horrible around here.
Yeah, definitely. But Dylan's done that Singapore. Well, not the Singapore sling, really quite nicely. He's coming over there across the Anderson Bridge. Yeah, you want to be right over to that right hand side. He goes really deep into the braking zone and doesn't get onto the power relatively early either. So that wasn't a really great braking zone there from Dylan, but. Yeah, he's going to complete this lap anyway, because obviously it's just your first run, and hopefully he can improve on his second run. But
Sammy just went across that line. I wonder if he's invalidated.
He has. Yeah, he's frustrated by just touching the wall there as well. But yeah, there's still another run left to do, so I think Sammy, you never know, anything else can still happen. But that's probably the effect of the dirty air that he had sitting behind Dylan. As Roscoe has left the session, I'm not quite sure why he's left.
Ban.
Yeah, but he's left it rather than retired it, so right. He needs to get back into the session before the race starts.
Oh, back end slipping.
Dylan puts a 1:35.5 on the board.
That's a good lap, to be fair.
Well, I think Crystal Mason and the likes of Kamara Racer can blitz that. Yep, there we go, a 1:34.8. That's about 8 tenths quicker than Dylan. Diashi puts himself into P3 on a 36.1. And then we've got Silent Shifting on 36.6. Leclerc going into P2 on a 35.5. So he's relatively close to Kamara Racer, so if he can get another lap in at the end of the session, it could be a battle between those two. But Theo comes across the line now and puts himself in P3 on a 35.4. So that's a really impressive time there from Theo. And as that Marvsky's about to cross the line, he puts himself in P5 on a 35.6. I think Marvsky's probably got a bit more time on the board there.
Sammy just saying on Discord that why has it invalidated him, and after that corner, there's like a white box. If your car goes outside of that, it's kind of like an invisible curb. If your car's off that, it just invalidates you. So that's where you went wide, Sammy. We saw it on stream, if you're wondering. So yeah, it is one to be difficult. It is a difficult one to catch you out. But yeah, so obviously Kamara Racer, that's sort of where he wants to be. But Crystal Maze, I mean, I'm interested to see what time he can pull out. I'm expecting him to go fastest, as he just does, with a 10th quicker, which is quite close between them, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Kamara Racer was probably sandbagging a bit, probably on the earlier on in qualified, doing his best Mercedes technique there. Is anyone else on a lap at the minute? I don't think they are. We've got Roscoe obviously going to retire, and Sammy's on an out lap already. So he's going to have. I don't think he's going to get another run in after this. It's going to be really touch and go, but he probably should have waited to the end of the session, I think. Just to get that third and final run, unless he does have the tyres, I think. But I suppose you're not going to want to use him in the race anyway, so you might as well burn them all up in this qualifying session. Yeah, Roscoe's there, retired, so he'll be starting P10. It's a free position for everyone else in to qualify in 3, but yeah, so Sammy will be the one that we're going to be watching because he obviously hasn't set a lap time yet, and everyone else has. So everyone else will be coming into the pit. So Sammy will have a free track all to himself. He doesn't want to work those soft tyres too much on this outlap because obviously the wear is quite bad on them.
Sorry, but yeah, right here is where you validate Sammy, on that box there. Yeah, you did it right then. So
yeah, like I said earlier on, it's just there's so many different places you can invalidate your lap around here.
And that's not even an obvious one because there's no curb there that you can see.
Well, it is obvious if you put the practice in,
yeah.
And you obviously learn the track to know where you can and can't invalidate. But yeah, like you said, the curbs are quite horrible around here. But yeah, we'll ride on board with Sammy, I think, as he starts his lap. See, obviously from the T-cam right above the car. Yeah, you want to get as much speed as you can when you start this lap because you'll carry it right through onto your lap. And you'll carry the speed coming into turn 1. You want to cut that corner a bit more than Sammy did there, and he's invalidated this lap as well.
Straight away.
Yeah, straight away. So Sammy's not going to be too happy.
I don't know if it's the commentator's curse, so you knew we were riding along board. It didn't help. But
yeah, I know he does listen and watch the stream, so yeah, sorry Sammy if we did put you off, but that wasn't our intentions, I swear. Yeah, so Kamara Racer already on another outlap as well, so he's decided to get this second run in early as well. I don't think he's going to have enough time to do this one and another one after.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have enough time unless we have got another time glitch where we can't. We're a bit behind.
But it is a longer lap, so what if he does an outlap about 1 minute 35?
He can get round and then do another lap, but he won't have time to come in the pits. I don't think.
No, definitely not. So yeah, I think this is going to be Kamaru's second run, and we've also got Silent Shifting also on his outlap as well. So I think Sammy's probably going to come into the pits, because you do get Pirelli kindly gives you another set of soft tyres when you get into the qualifying 3 session. Just because they think, well, we'll get you out more on track, and yeah, they just want to see more cars on track. That's all we really want to see, is cars on track, because yeah, especially the last few years they've been trying to sort out the rules in real life, haven't they? Just well, I like what they've done to practice sessions in real life at the minute, because obviously they've cut down the time, and you kind of see all of the teams kind of panicking a little bit so far with all of their practice programs and everything. They don't really know what to do the first 2 weeks out, because well, we've gone to somewhere like Imola. Where the cars, obviously, in the last recent years, they haven't really raced. I think it was 2006. I think Sean might kill me for not knowing that, but I think it might be 2005, 2006. I'm sure Ginger Rage will probably catch me out on those on my facts. But yeah, they've not done a lot of running around there. And in Bahrain, obviously, we saw obviously a lot of running as well, even though they did that pre-season around there. But Sammy obviously he's going for another lap on these tyres, and he did that first part of the first couple of corners a lot better than he did previously. He didn't invalidate.
Sorry, but Theo just put in the comments, so I put 2.7 laps of fuel in. For your last run, then yeah, definitely, because you won't use all that fuel up. So definitely if you're on the last run, if you can. But yes, so obviously we're seeing Sammy again.
Yeah, he needs to he needs to get this lap time on the board, because I doubt he's going to have more fuel on board.
I think maybe we should go off Sammy, because it'll help his confidence.
No, we'll stay on board with him, because I want to see what he can do.
Okay.
And I think he will be the next one to cross the line anyway. Or actually, he might be Kamara Racer. Maybe we'll jump on board with Kamara Racer. Yeah, he's in the 3rd sector. He's coming over the Anderson Bridge now. He was really, really close to the wall.
Really tight.
Yeah, he's pushing this Alfa Romeo right to the edges of the track, and he slightly touches the wall there.
That might lose him a 10th or 2.
Yeah, I don't think he did get any damage though, so I don't think he's going to lose too much. He is a 10th and a bit down on his time, so unless he has a really, really great 3rd and final sector, Kamara Racer's not going to gain any more positions, and he's only fractionally ahead of Leclerc as well, so he really needs to make this last sector. But I think
he's pushing the limits of this track though. He's going as wide and as close as he can.
Yeah, I did just see the light on the back of that Alfa Romeo flashing, which means he is harvesting a little bit, so I don't know if he's deciding to use overtake rather than hot lap. I'm not quite sure what his technique is.
Qualifying.
You can select it, but yeah, we'll see what he can do. I don't think he's going to improve on this. Oh, he does. Wait, yeah, he improves, but he doesn't improve enough, and he only goes into. He stays P2.
That's very close though, but Crystal Maze, I don't think anyone can get close to that.
And Sammy
time.
only puts himself in P8, and he does look like he's still going for it. So maybe Sammy does have some more fuel on board. As Silent Shifting now, he's going to come across he's coming into the last corner, and he didn't quite clip the apex. He understeered quite a lot through then. He only puts the McLaren up into P7. So that's going to be it for Silent Shifting, I think, and he's going to be quite frustrated with that, the way he's treating that McLaren car as he comes across the line. But Dylan has invalidated this lap as well, so let's hope Dylan's got fuel on board.
Theo, we've done a really impressive time there in P4. That's very good from him. Still on another lap as well.
Yeah, he's just come through to start the 2nd sector now.
I don't think he can make up that 4/10 move to get close to Leclerc.
You don't know anything.
But yeah,
you
never know.
So yeah, Leclerc is on an outlap. Kamara Racer he's still going for it as well, and Crystal Maze is about a 10th, well, just under a 10th down on his lap, and he's coming into the he's in the last sector now. But I think that Dylan, it might be Dylan ahead of him, but yeah, Dylan has invalidated his lap. Oh, Crystal Maze just touches the wall there slightly, so he's pushing that Ferrari a bit too much. Oh, he's invalidated. He got a bit of wing damage there as Crystal Maze. So that's going to be it for Crystal Maze as well.
I don't think he's safe there anyway.
We'll have to see. I think Leclerc obviously hasn't started a lap yet. So I think Leclerc is, as long as he needs to get about 3/10 out of that Racing Point car on this lap. So it's all or nothing now for Leclerc. Can he get that Racing Point onto pole position? Sammy's going to want to hope that he does, being his teammate. But Sammy's going to come across the line, and he does improve by just over almost 3/10.
Yeah, she's on an outlap, but is he going to get there in time?
I think we do have a bit of time
behind.
sinks. Yeah, so Kamara Racer has retired from session. Yeah, Diashi has made it. I think he's going to be the last one to start a time, unless Marvsky, and that's it for Marvsky. Marvsky's all the way down in P6. So yeah, then another that's Silent Shift, and I don't think he's going to have fuel or time. No. So right now, Crystal Maze, that's him done. Kamara Racer, that's him done. So it's all down.
Theo's beat Leclerc's time. Yeah, you said he might.
Theo's up into P3, but Leclerc Leclerc's a 10th and a bit down on his first sector. So it's all about the 2nd and 3rd sector now for Leclerc. It's going to be a battle between him and Dylan. And Dylan's only marginally up. Oh, that's it for Dylan as well. He's invalidated his lap. Not very happy. I think
he will be happy with 5th, but I think he might have done better there. But...
Yeah, 5th's not too bad, but I think he probably could have got that car onto the front row or maybe onto the second row at least. But Leclerc's got to have a really, really amazing third and final sector if he wants to get that racing point any further up the grid. Theo's obviously just about a tenth and a bit ahead of him, but he needs to improve by about 3 tenths to put that car onto pole position. He's right on the limits now of the track, and he's going to come across the last couple of corners, and he's going to come across the line, and he puts the car on pole position.
Oh my god!
By just under a tenth of a second to Crystal Maze. So Crystal Maze is going to be kicking himself for invalidating that lap. But that's Leclerc puts himself on provisional pole. I don't think anyone else can beat him.
I don't think anyone else would have expected someone to beat that Crystal Maze time.
That's going to be it. Diashi's hitting in the wall because he must be really frustrated. But yeah, P9, that's really impressive from Diashi, reserving here tonight. So yeah, I don't think he'll be too disappointed in that. But that's Leclerc on pole position.
That's an incredible time.
Ahead of Crystal Maze. And the championship leader of Roscoe, obviously all the way down in P10. So obviously it's a long road race. It's the longest race time-wise.
I think we have got a bit of a race in our hands with those top 3 though. Kamara Race is obviously not going to be on the front row. They're going to have to get past the 2 front cars.
Well, on those soft
tyres, which you're going to have to do as soon as he can.
Yeah, and he will be starting on the right-hand side of the grid, which I personally think is the better place to start, because you get the swing and you're on the racing line going into turn 1.
That's incredible from Leclerc though. That was one of the best qualifying sessions I've seen.
Well, he was about a tenth and a half down in the second sector, so it was all about that third and final sector for Leclerc.
I think it was only him that I had I would put money on that maybe could beat that Crystal Maze time, but I didn't think anyone really could. That's an incredible time.
Yeah, so that's Leclerc on pole position there, and Crystal Maze in P2, Kamara Racer in P3, Theo in P4. It's a really respectable job there by Theo.
Yeah, really good time.
Just under 2 tenths behind. And then
in those 34s, that's a brilliant time. So
Dylan is going to be quite annoyed with that, over almost a second behind Leclerc in P5, and Marvsky as well. I think he probably had a bit more time on the board in P6. Silent Shifting in P7, Sammy in P8 on those 5-lap hold medium tyres. So I think he's going to have a hard start to the race.
Especially with Roscoe behind as well.
Yeah, Diashi in P9 and Roscoe in P10 with that qualifying 3 ban at the championship leader.
So Leclerc got second last race. So let's see if he can get another podium. He seems quick around here. So obviously Roscoe did win last week, but starting from P10, he's going to have to have an incredible race. But obviously we know it can be done from, let's say, you from 13th. So.
Yeah, as he just said in the comments that his third sector was perfect. Yeah, I think you're bang on with that, buddy. It must have been pretty perfect.
That was incredible.
Well, you must have improved it by about 4 or 5 tenths of a second to get that pole position. So that's an amazing lap. As Sammy's also congratulating him there. Obviously that's his teammate. Obviously glad that the racing point is on the very front row of the grid.
But yeah, what a race we're going to have, I think. I just can't wait to see what Kamara Racer how he's going to get past those front 2 if he can get it off the start. I mean, on the 25% yesterday, I was basically the only one that started on. Theo's left the session there, so hopefully get him back in.
Yeah, I think Theo might have had a similar issue last week, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so those softs on the obviously they're not going to be completely fresh, but on the start they are so quick and grip off the line. So I'm expecting Kamara Racer to get a better start than those 2 and then get round them, I think.
Well, he obviously has done that 1 lap on them already, so he will have that initial kind of grip. As you can see in the garages there, when those tyres are fresh, they have that kind of shine to them, which they won't have. So that's Theo's car already jumping the start.
Hopefully he can get back in before the start, because we don't want a car to jump
ahead. We do have... the formation lap is obviously quite long around here, so I think he's got plenty of time to hopefully jump back in. So yeah, we've got Crystal Maze starting in P1, and he is on those medium tyres. Leclerc in P1, not Crystal Maze. Crystal Maze is in P2.
Kamara in P3.
Yeah, Kamara on those softs in P3. Theo in P4, who's obviously we need to get back in that car.
Do we get the tyres out so we see what people are starting on? See if anyone else has chosen the soft tyres or the hards. Okay, we've got Ginner and Cryptic Alibi starting on the hards, which is interesting. So, yeah, I mean, even the suggested strategies I don't think, are very accurate normally anyway, but none of them say you should start on the softs. So, yeah, it's interesting to see. But, so 2 people start on the hards, see how they fare.
Yeah, so carrying on with the grid, we've got Marvsky in P6, Silent Shifting in P7, Sammy in P8, and obviously, like we said before, he is on those. I think he's done about four or five laps, qualifying laps.
Check that. But...
No, you can't.
Oh,
in
not
the
until
race.
It starts.
You've got Diashi in P9, Roscoe in P10, the championship leader. So he's got a fight on his hands if he wants to get a decent amount of points this week. Shadows, and Theo has joined the session, so that's good for Theo. Shadows in P11, Ginger Age in P12, Jinner on the hard compound tyres in P13, Reflection in P14, Lewis Williams, who did unfortunately crash in qualifying 1,
he's had
in
a long
P15.
Wait.
Yeah,
crashes straight away, basically.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Smithy in P16, Vintage in P17, Booty Delight in P18, and Cryptic Alibi at the very back on the hard compound tyre. So he's going to go long, and he's going to try and get some track position in this race. I think is Cryptic.
I think P19 that's a safe bet, but I think 15 and above it's a better idea to stay with the mediums. Maybe a few people crash, and you can stick with that pack and get those points. That's what I would do personally, but. Going to see how Ginner's going to basically be like a very slow compared to the medium runners behind, so I would not want to be him in this race.
Well, at the start of the race, you can benefit quite a lot if you can stick with the DRS in a group of cars and you're on those slower tyres. If they can drag you along, that's where you'll benefit from starting on the hards.
And it's hard to overtake, so you can just hold your position
if
you are quick enough.
Once you get to probably about lap 8, the medium tyres will hit that cliff, and then the hard compound tyres will be faster, and that's when you want to make the most of them, push those hards when those mediums are starting to struggle, and then that's when you make the most of it. Especially while they'll get the undercut on you when they put on the hard tyres, and then
just again for no damage as well, because that could completely mess your race up. But let's get ready for the race.
Yep. So we just have the lights start now. Obviously, we do have a bit of a desync, but yeah, we're going to see the revs build up in a second. Yep, Leclerc's building up those revs now to about 13,000 RPM, and away we go. Leclerc's got off to a really good start, and Theo has stopped on the. He's stopped, but Leclerc's kept P1, and that's
Kamara Racer's got damage.
Yeah, Kamara Racer's gone into the back of Leclerc, but Crystal Maze, he's dropping right down the order. Well, he's in P3, but that Silent Shifting's jumped all the way up to 4th. But yeah, Kamara Racer does have that wing damage, unfortunately. So Leclerc is he's kept this lead, and Crystal Maze is in P2. Kamara Racer, he doesn't have to pit. I think he's got massive left end plate damage.
He's going to get past.
Yeah, Silent Shifting is already making a move on him. But yeah, I mean, Kamara Racer's not making it easy, and he's hit the curb there quite a lot as a Silent Shifting.
We see some damage back there.
Yeah, I think. Someone definitely did spin. That's Sammy. That's an awful. Sammy's had a nightmare start.
Has he got damage? He hasn't got wing damage.
No, he hasn't. But he's obviously on those older tyres already.
Maybe that lack of grip there cost him.
Yeah, but
Booty Delight's made up a position there. Oh no, he's.
But Kamara Racer's really struggling. Someone just went really wide there. That's Dylan. Dylan completely cut the Singapore. Not the Singapore string. Yeah, he got a 3-second time penalty for that. But yeah, Silent Shifting is dropping down. Silent Shifting's got damage.
More wing damage.
Silent Shifting's got damage, and that's put Marvsky up into P4 now. Kamara Racer,
I think he's got even more wing damage.
Yeah, I think he did. I think after the Anderson Bridge, he's got no end plates at all. As Vintage has left the session as well. So Kamara Racer is going to have to come into the pits. He's going to hold up all of these drivers. Same with Silent Shifting. There'll be complete moving chicanes now. Dylan is right on the back of Silent Shifting, and Shadows is there waiting as well, and Jinner is doing a really good job in P8.
Leclerc's just obviously got the fastest lap.
Yeah,
we see Kamara Racer and Silent Shifting into the pits. We see anyone else? Is that Roscoe's in the pits as well?
Yeah, Roscoe's in the pit as well. Roscoe's in the pits.
He's in the pits, yeah.
And Theo's got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. Theo's in the pits as well.
No.
So I think they've all got wing damage. Yeah, Theo's got wing damage, Roscoe's got wing damage, Shifting's got wing damage, and Kamara Racer. Sammy's caught to the back as Theo's retired from the session.
Oh no.
So I don't know if Theo had a glitch or something with the tyre temperatures. I know that sometimes can happen. But wow, look at the lead that the front two have got already. They're in the battle of their own. They're 5.5 seconds ahead of Marvsky already.
Happen?
Well, I think it's just
Just the pace of those.
No, it's when Kamara Racer was in P3. This is how much he held everyone up with that wing damage. So we've kind of got three little races going along. We have got the front two of Leclerc and Crystal Maze.
See, Ginger Age has made an incredible start into P7 here.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy with that. It's a long old way to go, and he hopefully can keep that.
We've got a yellow flag.
I think that's just Theo's ghost car, I believe.
Theo or Vintage? Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming across the Anderson Bridge now, and yeah, this predicted pitch stop strategy is, well, I think the one stop is the only one you can really do. It's just a mediums to hards or hards to mediums, depending on what tyres you are on. But Cryptic Alibi up to P11, wow, that's a really amazing start from P19. He's going to be really, really happy with that on those hard tyres. So he can... Is he got left lane plate damage, I think, as Cryptic?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. So, well, he's not going to come into the pits because he is on those hard tyres. That is the disadvantage of starting on those hards. That
he's going to lose so much time on that long run, though. So.
Yeah, it does really affect you, though, if you, obviously, you don't, it's just not worth coming into the pits. But Leclerc has set the fastest lap at the minute.
You can't get in within that second, though, or get that second on him. But, he has.
So he has, but can he get it on the DRS detection point? Obviously, that's going into a braking zone. I don't think he will be able to. So the detection point is right about here. So yeah, he's not out of the DRS zone yet, as we obviously it is enabled this lap of Leclerc. So yeah, he's going to really start putting the pressure on Leclerc, and Crystal Maze probably want to just sit behind him because it is really hard to overtake him, and maybe put some pressure on Leclerc to try and make him get some penalties and everything. Yeah, as Marvsky is obviously 6.5 seconds back, but then he's leading this second kind of train, and Dylan does have that 3-second time penalty for making the mistake through the Singapore Sling. Shadows is having a really good race as well in P5, but
these three here are in their own little battle, and I think these three can benefit from this because they're not really in a...
Oh, it's Ginger Rage!
No!
Whoa! He just clipped it on the apex, and the rear end of the car kind of just...
Has he got damage?
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage as Ginger Rage. Yeah, look at that.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't got any wing damage.
I definitely saw some kind of carbon fibre fly off.
Well, on our screen there, at least on our, we can see no end plate damage, but whether that's... Oh, I think it looks like he has.
I'm not quite sure, but I definitely saw some kind of carbon fibre flying off that Williams.
Well, I guess we'll see if he pits or not.
I mean, he has dropped all the way down to P10 nevertheless, so I definitely the curse of the commentator there, and apologies for that.
Such a good race. Hopefully it doesn't get to him. He can still carry on. He's still in the points at least. So
unless there was a bit of the wall or something potentially, I'm not quite sure. So hopefully he hasn't got any damage. Let's just stick on board, see if he does come into the pit. I don't think he does by the looks of it, but it did look like there was a lot of carbon fibre that flew off. But Crystal Maze has now set the fastest lap, so he's going to be. He's starting to push.
Doesn't have that much grip, or I can't get traction.
No, will he come into the pits?
He isn't.
No, he must not have any damage on that Williams. Okay. Wow, that Williams must be built out of vibranium. Well, go into my geeky side there. If any of you Marvel fans out there,
you should have a look at is that Ginner there on the hards in 6th position.
Yeah, that's he's incredible. Having a really, really good race. So he's obviously thinking of the long run. But Ginger Rage is he's already past Reflections. As Reflection had a problem there, I think he might have
gone wide there. He's past Diashi and Reflection there. Whether they might have just come together there or something?
Potentially. I'm not quite sure. But Roscoe now sets the fastest lap. Obviously being all the way down to P17.
He's going to have one hell of a drive to get... Well, I think he will maybe get some points. He's quick enough, but...
Well, yeah, but he is already a pit stop behind.
Yeah, but I think we...
As Crystal Maze gets a 3-second time penalty already.
That could cost him...
And he goes really deep into the braking zone just after the Anderson Bridge. So maybe he's starting to get a bit of a mental game now, and he's getting a bit frustrated being behind Leclerc. He's probably pushing a bit too hard. Excuse me. But he is still within that DRS.
There's another yellow flag.
Yeah, I think that's Diashi.
McLaren.
Oh, Diashi.
Diashi, no.
He's got wing damage on that McLaren. He had a really good qualifying in P9, I think it was, or P8. And he's not having a great race. He's going to obviously have to box and repair that front wing of that McLaren.
Yeah, I think there's still safety cars in it that can change the race, though. So
yeah, it's a long old way to the end of the race. We've still got another 26 laps to go, 27 laps.
Yeah, it's a very long race.
Get into the pits. And
there's a virtual safety car. Who's that? Is that a? Who is that?
I'm not quite sure. I did see just a bit of damage come off the.
Is that the Ferrari and the McLaren come together?
I think it might have just been a bit of damage that flew off the Ferrari.
Is that an end plate damage there?
Yeah, right. Both end plate damages for Roscoe.
So I don't know whether he's tried to make a move on silent shifting.
Lewis Williams is overtake. Oh no, Ginner's in the pits, so maybe it was something to do with Ginner. He's on those hard tyres.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to pit now.
Well, it was under the virtual safety car, so that's probably what he was thinking. But yeah, he's having to repair that nose of the Red Bull.
Yeah.
So that's not ideal for Ginner, because obviously he was on those hards. He was having such a great race up to that point as well. So we've seen a couple drivers come into the pits. There's a Renault there of Smithy with wing damage as well. Well, there's a lot of
Ginger Rage has come in. Is that it?
No, Ginger Rage has stayed out. Booty Delight's in the pits, and Diashi, Vintage, and Roscoe. So yeah, the drivers are really struggling out there to keep their noses clean. this is a really cool shot actually from the Ferrari.
There's a lot of wing damage seems to be collecting right now.
Yeah, it's a difficult track with obviously all the walls and everything. But Gino obviously still only comes out in P12, so that's not too bad actually. He's got
Sammy's just overtaken pretty much all the pits there, so he's happy with that.
Yeah, you won't be able to get to the end of these tyres, but obviously...
I don't think anyone else that would have pits other than the hard runners now will be able to get to the end.
But Cryptic Alibi, it's still got that wing damage in P9.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously decided not to pit, but...
Maybe just wait for that safety car. I mean...
Well, I don't think he's got anything to lose.
It's a gamble, but if he feels comfortable on it and doesn't seem to lose that much time, then I don't see why not.
He definitely will be losing a lot of time,
yeah.
But like I said earlier on, the track position is huge around here. And he's in P9, so if a safety car does come out soon, he's got a 13-second gap to Kamara Racer behind him, so I don't
He wouldn't be able to get on the mediums to the end, though. He'd have to pit again.
Oh, is he just hit the wall even more? So
yeah, he's going to have to pit now.
Yeah, I don't think he's done it. Well, they could do about 20 laps, so I think... It definitely will be a stretch, but if he's really kind on those tyres and he tiptoes around for the whole of the race, he could potentially, or...
Is he not coming in?
No, he's still staying out.
Well, that's bold, and he's just gone wide there. I think he might have made a mistake.
Yeah, he definitely should have came in with this amount of damage, I think. But yeah, that...
Ginger Rage is back up into 7th.
Yeah, he's recovered that from that quite well, but Lewis Williams has had a really good start, actually. Cryptic Alibi gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah. I'll have a look at the... I
think Cryptic should have definitely come in. I think that was a mistake from him.
So yeah, wow, look, Cryptic Alibi up from 9 positions, Reflection up 6 positions, Ginger Rage up 7 positions, Lewis Williams up 9 positions.
Yeah, driver of the day so far.
Shadows up P6, up 6 positions. So yeah, those guys have really benefited from...
Marvsky's in that podium spot right now.
Was that just some damage that I just saw flying off of Shadows' car?
It doesn't look like he's got end plate damage, because his car ghosted a bit there, which would mean that he did hit the wall, maybe. Maybe it's happened with...
There's definitely a bit of carbon pop. Yeah, he's got right end plate damage there. Shadows. So
I think he's one of the ones that... I don't know, he hasn't come into the pits yet, but... I'd be disappointed with that. I would still stay out on with 6-lap old mediums. I think just get him maybe to lap 10, 11, then go from the hards.
Yeah, if you can get to lap 10, it will definitely benefit you there. Because he has got a bit of a gap to Lewis Williams behind, about 7.5 seconds. As Crystal Maze now is really, really... Well, he's still within that DRS. I think he did see a couple of laps ago that he did drop out of it. But they're in a class of these own, these two, Leclerc and Crystal Maze. They're 10 seconds ahead of Marvsky. And Marvsky's no slouch. And to be 10 seconds ahead of him within 7 laps, they're going at least about half a second, 6 tenths quicker a lap than Marvsky.
It's incredible.
I know obviously they will have that DRS, but they've got some incredible pace around here of these two.
Well, the 6 seconds at the start, obviously, was it Kamara Racer and that wing damage held him up a lot.
Yeah. But then 4 seconds as well.
Gaining even more than that. Obviously, Leclerc's in clean air basically, and Crystal Mazer. Then the penalties doing an amazing job to keep up with him. But these are definitely some of the fastest drivers, especially on this track, obviously in qualifying. So yeah, brilliant to see if.
Well, as it stands, with Roscoe out the points and Leclerc leading the way, Leclerc will be the championship leader at this moment in time.
Yeah, last week coming in P2, he moved up 8 positions. So
yeah,
he's going to move up another 2 and into that top spot.
Crystal Maze being in 6th on 30 points as well.
He'll move up into the top 3, I think, maybe?
Well, he'd get 18 points, so yeah, he'd put himself, well, depending on Reflections, and Reflection is currently in P8, so he'd get a couple points as well. Diash's got a 3-second time penalty. Is that a Red Bull going solely? Is that Jinner? Yeah, Jinner's slowing down.
He was having such a good race as well.
I'm not quite sure.
He hasn't got any damage.
I think he might have just had a bit of a moment there.
Yeah, maybe. He's just didn't want to get in the way of that racing point there.
Yeah, but then it is the race, so obviously you've got everything to fight for.
Yeah, it's a bit. That's an odd one there. Maybe, yeah, just like you say, just lost traction. But
Reflection and Ginger Rage are having a nice little battle here. They're in a kind of little bubble of their own.
Yeah, Reflection's going to want to get this move done as soon as he can if he's quicker.
Yeah, Ginger Rage's not having a lot of ERS there, and Reflection, well, he's got a hell of a lot more.
Yeah,
he's got 65%, so he's probably just waiting patiently for the back straight. Is Reflection. He's right on the rear end now of Ginger Rage. Is Reflection.
Yeah, Ginger Rage is getting a bit hot under this pressure here. Don't want to see him get any time penalties or make a mistake through it. So, yeah.
I mean, he could be better off letting Reflection ahead of him down the straight, as Kamara Racer gets a 3-second time penalty.
That could be huge.
Well, he's in P10.
Yeah, but he will make up more positions. Oh, we got yellow flag.
I think that's Roscoe.
That's a Ferrari.
Oh,
it's not Crystal Maze. It's Crystal Maze!
Oh no! Has he got damage on that front?
Yes, he got damage, but he spun it.
Yeah, he must have just lost it on the rear end, but that puts Marsky into P2. Wow! So Leclerc has got a massive lead now. So Leclerc is going to be, well, he's going to be cheering as, I know it's only lap 8, but to have a 12-second lead this early on in the race.
No safety cars, that could be massive.
Well, all he's got to do now is just, well, he can just stay out as long as he can on those medium tyres, and then as soon as Marsky pits, just box the next lap, and then you're going to be, well, you have the track position and everything. So, yeah, Crystal Maze making a crucial error there. And we have seen Crystal, I think he did a similar thing in Hungary. Wasn't he out in the lead and he did have a bit of a moment in the third sector?
Possibly, yeah, but...
So that's a real shame for Crystal Maze, but there is a long way to go, and he is only, well, he's only in P3. I mean, it's still a really good result. But he was obviously fighting for the lead there. Is that Sammy? There's a yellow flag there.
Sammy?
It is Sammy. Sammy's got no front wing whatsoever on that Racing Point car. So Sammy's nightmare race is going from bad to worse, unfortunately. And we have got a virtual safety car. So will we see anyone make the most of this virtual safety car and box? Yeah, we're seeing Crystal Maze come into the pits.
He'll put on the hards to the end then.
Yeah, which, well, he's going to gain a little bit of time on Leclerc there in the pit stop. And Dylan has decided to come in. I think that's a really smart move from these guys. Because they're only, well, the pit winner is only about 2 laps away. And the amount of time you'll gain under a VSC is probably about 5 or 6 seconds, depending on the pit lane. But yeah, these guys, well, there's definitely the right thing to do because, yeah, like I said, the track position is quite important around here. As Cryptic Alibi, sorry, still hasn't pit, but he is done him now with that wing damage, so you need to be careful on the pit entrance there. Quite smart from him there to box on this lap, but he's on the hard tyres as well, so I don't think he can get those mediums to the end. That's probably Silent Shifting gets a 5-second penalty for speed.
I mean, he's like 20 laps at a push on those mediums, I think.
Yeah, I think Ginger Rose might be kicking himself there a bit for not boxed under that virtual safety car.
But then you could be seen to be a genius within the next 3 laps. There's a safety car, so
potentially
he could be risking it for that. But yeah, maybe he's just thinking. He sat behind Reflection. Maybe he's going to just copy whatever Reflection did, sitting behind him in the DRS. So.
Shinner's back up to P9 now on those medium tyres after he had that bit of a moment. And he has boxed, so he's on 3 lap old medium, so he's not going to make it to the end on those either. So the only people that really, I think, can make it to the end on the tyres that they're on at the minute is Crystal Maze, Dylan, Silent Shifting, and Kamara Racer.
Possibly Booty Delight as well on those 3 laps.
Yeah, he might be able to get, well, yeah, he should be able to get those to the end, actually. But, yeah, so Sammy's back in the pits now. He's replacing that front nose cone. He's on the hard tyre, so Sammy will be able to make it to the end. But he's down to them in P17. He's got, well, he's about to be lapped by his teammate, actually.
He's gonna have to hope for a safety car to get some good points here, I think. So
yeah, definitely. But Marvsky there, Marvsky's having a really solid job now in P2
Shadders as well into the top 3.
Yeah, Shadders. He's still obviously got that damage on the right end plate of that Alpha Tauri car, but he's sticking at it, and yeah, he's going long on these medium tyres.
Yeah,
we're really quite spaced out with all the drivers at the minute. There's not really a lot of on-track battling going on, to say. But Ginger Raid's obviously now up to P6.
Yeah, he's got out of that DRS zone from Reflection. They're losing quite a lot of time off him, so he's going to be thinking about making that pit stop soon. Whether he's, I mean, you know, like you say, there isn't much on-track battling at the minute, so
I think these are the 2 drivers that we're going to want to watch most, because Crystal Maze and Dylan both did pit under that virtual safety car. So once we see the other drivers, they will obviously get an undercut on the drivers ahead as well as the short pit stop for stopping under the virtual safety car. So we're going to be really interested to see how much time these guys will gain on the guys ahead. Obviously, they will have older tyres. Always Crystal Maze gets another 3-second penalty.
6 seconds. That could cost you so much in this race.
Yeah, especially if you, like you said, there is a late error on safety car.
I did obviously with another 3-second. No, he's already got 3 seconds. Sorry, but.
Yeah, so I think after a pit stops, I think these guys will probably come. Well, I think they'll probably come back out in P3 and 4, I reckon.
Yeah.
But obviously they will have those older tyres.
Very close to that corner there. I even winced. I'm not even in the car.
Yeah. So is that Cryptic Alibi there? Cryptic Alibi. Yeah, he's just got past Fifty Almighty. Obviously he's come in now, repaired that wing damage as Cryptic Alibi. And he's obviously got a fresh set of medium tyres on that car. He's he's pushing now because obviously he's got to make the most of the track position and the fresh tyres. But he doesn't have to. If he wants to get anything out of this race, he's either got to hope for a safety car or he's going to have to try and eke those tyres to the end and take them as long as possible. Yeah, so Booty Delight in P15 as well. He's having a steady old race. He's made up a couple positions. I know he's quite new to this game as Booty Delight, isn't he? But nephew of Ginger Rage, I believe. So Ginger Rage has taken him under his wing. And he's trying to help him as much as he can.
He shows some improvement as well from when I first saw him. So
yeah, Jenny gets a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, I know Ginger Rage definitely isn't the most patient man alive. As I've had him in a party a couple of times before when we've been in racing.
I mean, he is called Ginger Rage for a reason. But...
yeah, that is very true. So yeah, Vintage. Obviously, sticking at it is Vintage. He's on the soft tyres.
He's going to go mediums probably after.
Yeah, definitely. Diashi gets a 3-second time penalty.
Diashi.
As Leclerc is he's just walking away with this race at the minute. He's got a 13-second lead over Marvsky. Marvsky's just kind of is doing his own thing there.
Marvsky's just loving it at the minute. He's having a smashing race. So.
Marvsky's he's shown this in all the races so far. He's the type of driver to
keep clean, consistent.
Yeah, he just kind of does his own thing.
Sammy, another 3-second time penalty.
He does his own thing, I think. He does his own strategy. Well, he does his strategy, keeps out of the way a little bit, and then picks off his... don't mean this in a bad way, he's a bit like a vulture. You know, he sits and waits for something to happen, and he pounces on it when the opportunity arises.
I think it's somewhat like my
Crystal
driving.
Maze gets past, as we've got yellow flags, that McLaren of silent shifting. Oh, he's gone off the silent shifting, he's gone really deep, and he has got damage on that McLaren. So that's really the McLaren's had such a good qualifying.
So we were lucky not to see a safety car there. I think if he would have retired on track, so it's good there because Leclerc and Marvsky would have been kicking him for doing that. So yeah, hopefully he just get to the pits, get some wing changed, and but yeah, so that's unfortunately from silent shifting there.
Yeah, so reflections out to P5 as Ginger Rage is now in the pits. And he didn't put on those hard tyres to the end of the race yet. Lap 12, perfect time to put on those hard tyres. So he's got to his first pit stop window, yeah, without any damage or anything. So that's a really good first stint from Ginger Rage. It'd be interesting to see if he can come out in a little bit of clear space.
He's going to come out pretty much where he is. Look, he's going to come out in 8th as well.
Yeah, he's in a lot of clear air.
So I think he should be on good points here, especially with no penalties. He can get close to like Crystal Maze and Dylan. I know he's like obviously a few laps behind, and obviously it's a lot of time, but yeah, obviously no penalties could maybe he could gain a few positions here, especially if the two cars behind who aren't that far behind do catch him. He can he has time on them. So
well, he was in a little bit of a fight with Crystal Maze, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets an undercut on Crystal Maze and can get back ahead of him. Well, he was ahead of him, but see if he can retain his lead because Crystal Maze isn't. Yeah, he's definitely a quick guy. Oh, Crystal Maze has already pit, so... sorry, who was it? Oh, so yeah, so...
he obviously...
silent shifting is retired from this session, unfortunately, in the pit lane as well.
Obviously, Ginger Rage made that mistake, didn't he? That's why he lost so much time.
So Leclerc is now boxing as well for the hard compound tyres, and he will be going to the end of the Grand Prix as... oh no! Oh, I've had this glitch before. Oh no! This is exactly why we don't like people retiring, because he's now getting really held up by. He's lost it. Well,
no.
Luckily he does have that huge lead, but that's really cost Leclerc a fair few seconds there, as the ghost car of silent shifting decided to stop in the pit lane. So he will leave.
That's so unlucky.
I think he will keep the net lead of the race once Marvsky pits, but that has now put Dylan and Crystal Maze ahead of him.
They're both ahead.
That's on
not so. I mean, Leclerc's put on the medium, so maybe he can make that time up. But
oh no, Leclerc. I think Leclerc's definitely made a mistake there. I think he obviously meant to put on the hard tyres because he's now.
What was he on?
He started on the mediums as well.
So he's put on mediums again.
So he's done.
Maybe he's going to go softs at the end.
I think because he had that gap.
It's messed his strategy
up. Yeah,
up.
I think because he had that huge lead, he was just trying to try and do the two-stop. Because he had that 13-second lead. So that's really, really unfortunate for Leclerc. So that's really ruined his race. He had a huge lead, did Leclerc. So that's really thrown a spanner in the works into the race. So now Crystal Maze will probably be, he will be the net leader of the race. And Marvsky, once he pits on this lap, I presume, will probably come out. Well, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in correlation to Leclerc, because obviously he was held up by a few seconds. I know he did have that 13-second lead. But yeah, Marvsky, he's going to gain a huge chunk of time on.
Oh, such a shame. He's had such like a perfect race.
Yeah, he was having a perfect race. He had a pole position. He was about 13 seconds ahead. Oh, that's so gutting.
And obviously he's going to have to pit again because he started on the medium.
Yeah,
so.
he's got to switch the compounders. Marvsky's still staying out, so Marvsky's just. I think he's going to just try and hope for a safety car, or he's just going super long on these tyres because obviously they will. They'll definitely start to hit the cliff now.
Yeah, he'll need to pit soon, but he's obviously still in a good position.
Yeah, Crystal Maze is closing on him quite. Yeah,
maybe Marvsky was lucky he didn't come in the pits then because he could have been slightly affected by that.
Well, he would have been affected as well if he pit on the same lap as Leclerc. But Leclerc, I know he's a quick driver, so I don't think it's well. Obviously, it will annoy him a little bit. But yeah, he's going to be able to push on these tyres now, and he's about 2.5 seconds behind Dylan, so he's going to have to push super hard now. In this stint, because he's gonna have to. Well, I think it'd be a bit silly to put on the hard tyres anytime soon. I think he's gonna better off going super long to probably about lap 26, 25, and putting on the softs and going for fastest lap as well. As Kamara Gracie gets another 3-second time penalty. But yeah, Marvsky's gonna have to. Yeah, I think his Jeff is telling him to box this lap, I believe. Looking in the telemetry in the bottom right. That's really. I can't get over how annoying that must be for Leclerc because he was so comfortable up until that point.
It's frustrating when it's someone who's had a bad race and decide to retire in the pits as well. That's cost you, but it's just the game as well messing up. But I mean, it's just unfortunate. But hopefully, being on those quicker tyres, you can make that up. Obviously, he's getting closer to Dylan now, but obviously there is two penalties. I think was it Crystal Mace is 6 seconds, doesn't he? And Dylan has one 3-second penalty.
Yeah, that's correct. And Marvsky is coming into the pit lane now, so let's have a look. So obviously, I think all three of these are actually going to jump ahead of him, but obviously Marvsky will be able to go to the end, and he'll have 5 lap fresher hard tyres than Crystal Maze and Dylan.
I think Marvsky should have pitted maybe a lap or two ago because last lap he was 12 seconds ahead, and it's down to 9 seconds. So he's lost quite a lot of time there going that extra lap on those mediums, but maybe the hards at the end will make that up.
Yeah, he's obviously thinking of the longer picture, and he'll have those fresher tyres for the end of the race. Diashi gets another 3-second time penalty. So yeah, he comes out. He would have run it to get ahead of Lewis Williams. So yeah, maybe that one lap did cost him quite a lot, but he obviously will have the tyre advantage. Lewis Williams is on the medium tyres.
Mediums, though. Yeah. So
did he start on the hard? I think he might be going medium, soft as well. I think he might be doing the 2-stop.
Yeah, he was. So it's Cryptic Alibi and Ginner who started on the hard.
Yeah, so I think
Lewis Williams might have pitted more than once.
No, I think he has only. I can't look, but I think he wouldn't be in P4 if he has made more than one stop.
Yeah, he has made one stop, so I think he's gonna have to pit again.
Did he just touch the wall there? No, he didn't.
No.
Sorry. So yeah, we're kind of in for an interesting race now because Crystal Maze does lead the way, but he is on 5-lap old hard tyres.
With 6 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, with 6 seconds worth of penalties. And Leclerc is in P2 and
he's got past Dylan there.
Yeah, he's got past Dylan and he's closing up on Crystal Maze rapidly. But he's going to have to stop again.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to try and get this done really quickly. And he's going to have to put in qualifying lap after qualifying lap is Leclerc.
He's going to have to be 20 seconds ahead.
Well, we will have
10 laps, basically, he's going to have to make that up.
I'm not quite sure that's possible, to be honest. I mean, the only other hope that he has set the fastest lap of the race, so he's obviously going to have that extra point. But, yeah, hopefully on his part, that Crystal Maze is going to pick up some more penalties and that gap can get smaller and smaller every lap as Sammy gets another 3-second time penalty. But, yeah, these guys will be able to go to the end of the race. But Marvsky, obviously, in P5 on these hard tyres.
Ginger Rage is catching reflection there. He was a long way behind, but he seems to be catching it, and they're on similar lap old tyres as well. So that's a great job from Ginger Rage there. But obviously he's got medium runners behind, but they're on a lot older laps that are going to get even slower now. So
yeah, Cryptic Alibi did obviously have that wing damage. That's why he has fallen behind quite a bit.
But Ginger Rage keeping it clean, hopefully for the rest of the race, should get some good points. So.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. There's not a lot of drivers with penalties. Obviously, you have got the Crystal Maze and Dylan, but then there's fair play to Leclerc, Lewis Williams, Marvsky, Shadows, Reflection, Ginger Rage.
Because it is hard when you're pushing that hard to just make a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, even the likes of Booty Delight and Vintage down there at the bottom end of the grid, they've not got the penalties either.
Brilliant not getting any penalties. I mean, there's obviously some massive gaps down there that I don't think it will affect anything.
As
Leclerc is trying it.
Yeah, they're going side by side. Into the third.
If Crystal Maze can just keep him behind as long as he can.
Yeah, he needs to make that Ferrari as wide as possible. I don't think he'll be able to do a lot down the straights unless he does have a setup that is quicker down the straights than Leclerc. But Leclerc obviously will have the DRS. And let's have a look at the battery situation. Yeah, they're both on about 16%.
What's that?
It's Crystal Maze. Crystal Maze is coming into the pits.
Why would he be coming into the pits?
I'm not quite sure, unless he doesn't believe that those hard tyres can come to the end. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that.
That is an odd decision.
So yeah, now it's going to be a battle between Leclerc and Dylan, I think, for the race win. I mean, he had wing damage to Crystal Maze.
Oh, okay.
That makes a lot more sense.
Has he put mediums to the end?
Yeah, he definitely has. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just saying that was a bit odd decision, but Leclerc.
Well, now Leclerc's back. He's still going to be quite a struggle because
he needs to pit.
Yeah, he does have to box, but he's already got a 3-second lead over Dylan, and Dylan does have that 3-second penalty. So that's an effective 6
Lewis Williams
lead.
needs to pit again if he did start on those mediums.
Yeah.
As well as Dylan having that 3-second time penalty, he just needs to be within that after that soft stint. So Leclerc, I think, still probably can do this. He just needs to make these.
Well, he's gained a second in about 7 attempts in about half a lap. So obviously these medium tyres will drop a little bit in about 5 or 6 laps.
I mean, the right thing the game could do is just help him a little bit because he's been done over a bit here by the game. So for me, I hope he can get it working and obviously can win because I think he was a clear win. But so far, actually, there's been no safety car.
We did have the virtual safety car.
Yeah, virtual safety car, but no actual safety car, which is surprising, especially on Singapore.
Yeah, we've got Diashi and Smithy Almighty. No, Kamara Racer in the pit, so Kamara Racer's not having a really good week.
He's going to put on the mediums, so.
Yeah, he can take those to the end easily. Yeah, the grid is really, really stretched out. There's not
Roscoe's
really a lot
in the points at least, so.
On 11-lap-old hard tyres.
He'll be going to the end.
I think he's going to try it, but I'm not quite sure that he will be able to get it to the end.
If he can get, I don't know whether he can get within that. Obviously, Cryptic Alibi, it's going to be it's going to be a push. His tyres are going to be gone by the end, so Roscoe can make that up with obviously a pet penalty. I don't know how many Cryptic Alibi's got.
I think he's got 2, I believe.
He's got 2, so it's not long before Roscoe will get him.
But Ginger Rage is really closing in on Crystal Maze now.
Yeah, and he's only on 4-lap-old hards, so they'll only be getting better. So.
And Crystal Maze is on fresh mediums as well, as we'd obviously just see him pit. So yeah, actually, I don't think.
Yeah, Crystal Maze will
he'll start to walk away. But Reflection's not too far up the road.
No.
So I think both of them might be able to close in on Reflection. Shadows is, again, he's having a really good job. He's closing on Marvsky, actually, as Shadows. But then Marvsky, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose, but that ghost car, it's Vintage's car, the lapped car of Vintage, I think.
Oh.
And he's going to be gaining DRS and everything on him. Is that Sammy again? Sammy's in the wall, and again is Sammy. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Sammy. He's still down in P6, and he's still sticking with it.
It's a nightmare of a race.
Yeah, it's definitely not been a great race for Sammy. Especially considering last week where he did get pole position, but maybe street circuits aren't just for him. But they are very difficult. As again, he's going to be lapped by his teammate of Leclerc. As Leclerc does have now a 6-second lead over Dylan, so he's getting that time up, isn't he? But I still don't feel like it's going to be enough.
Crystal May's got another 3-second time penalty there, so so he's got, I think,
he's got 9 seconds.
9 seconds now, which could cost him a position, I think, maybe. So he's going to have to be pushing to get as many points as he can. That could be huge for if he gets close to Shadows or Marsky near the end after Lewis Williams pits. That could decide possibly the top 3 podium.
Yeah,
if he gets close with Lewis Williams.
It's a really interesting strategical race. I'm really not sure who is going to win or even be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I don't think. I think Marvsky is in a really strong position, being on 6-lap-old younger hard tyres, as Crystal Maze sets the fastest lap of the race.
I mean, Leclerc's got that 6-second gap, and he's building on it.
Yeah, he's up to about 6.5 seconds now. But Dylan obviously having that penalty and being on those hard tyres, I think he will be able to get him to the end, but they will be screaming towards the end of this race.
They will, yeah.
So I think Marvsky could potentially start to close in on him a lot. And obviously Leclerc having to pit probably for softs in about 6 laps. He's going to be like flying at the end compared to older hard tyres, but the soft tyres don't really last too long around here. So ideally you'd want to put another set of mediums, but he can't do that because he has to switch compound. So he's going to have to put on those soft tyres in about 6 or 7 laps and just go for it, completely put in qualifying lap after quali lap. And it all depends on whether or not he's even got any fresh softs left. I think he will, depending on how many he used in qualifying. As Sammy picks up another 3-second time penalty. But yeah, he's put it in the wall over the Anderson Bridge.
I hope this doesn't cause a safety car. No, he's still sticking in it.
No, not yet. And luckily we haven't seen anything, but there's a lot of debris on the track in a really narrow part of the circuit. Obviously it doesn't really matter on the game as much because they won't pick up punctures or anything from that. But yeah, Sammy with no front wing now, all the way down to P17.
Yeah, it's a nightmare race, just getting worse.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Sammy, but you know, stick at it, and yeah, there's another race next weekend where you can score some points, mate. And your teammate is winning, so
there still could be a safety car. So
yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, lap 20 now, 11 laps to go. Once again, the pack is so spread out. We've literally got cars on every kind of piece of tarmac around this track. So yeah, we've got Leclerc leading the way, and he's going to have to box another, at least one more time. Well, yeah, one more time for the softs towards the end of the race. We've got Dylan on 10-lap old tyres.
So what do you think is a safe, like how many seconds gap do you think is safe for Leclerc to pit down? 20? Because then he can make the softs last, especially with...
I think it needs to be at least 15.
Because with Dylan having that penalty as well, he has a little bit more leniency. But, you know...
I think if he puts on those softs towards the end, I think he can do about 3 seconds a lap compared to old hard tyres.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 seconds a lap, 5 laps, that's about, what, 15 seconds. So I think maybe like 18, 19, 20 seconds around there. As Mushroom was saying, he needs about 21 seconds. Yeah, it's probably about that. Depending on tyre degradation and
but
stuff.
If he can get it to around 15 with that time penalty and obviously the time he's going to gain on softs, I think he's still in for the win.
Yeah, and that's if Dylan doesn't pick up any more penalties, which obviously I think that's probably what Dylan's main aim.
Check how many penalties Dylan has. I'm pretty sure it's still 3.
I think it's only 1 penalty.
Yeah, so yeah, he's still got a 3-second penalty. So.
Crystal Maid's up to 12 seconds penalties now. Sammy's up to 14. Diashi's on 9, and Ginner's on 3. Bar Race is on 6. Alibis as Dylan gets another 3-second time penalty.
Oh my, that could.
Yep. So now technically he's got Leclerc has pretty much got about a 20-second lead almost.
Yeah.
On Dylan already. So I think
with about 4 laps, you'd say, to when he needs to pit.
I think
he's going to get it over.
It's going to be really touch and go. I think it's going to come down to the last couple laps in this race.
Marvsky is technically, well, almost in second place on time. Well, no. Sorry.
I think Marvsky will be in an P2 once Leclerc does.
Yeah.
Box? No, he'll probably be in.
Well, Marvsky's on half the age-old hards than Dylan.
Yeah, so Marvsky is going to start closing, but
he needs to push now, really.
Yeah, he definitely will be. He's obviously needs. He's definitely got the tyres.
Shadow's right behind him though. If he can get that move done.
Yeah, he's in that second now. Is Shadows? So Shadows with no penalties as well. Both of these guys are doing a really, really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both of them started around the 10th or just above. I think Marvsky started maybe a bit higher, but yeah, just try getting in that one of those top spots.
The only issue now is Leclerc's been on those mediums for about 7 laps. They've probably hit that cliff now. I think his Dowd just said that he's about 1.4 seconds off of his fastest lap time, so they're not fresh anymore. They haven't got the same grip that he did when he did box them earlier on. So he won't be gaining as much time every lap now, and he will start to lose a bit of confidence in the car as well. Yeah, 1.7, 1.8 seconds a lap slower than his quickest time on fresher mediums on this stint. So obviously the hard tyres that Dylan's on are obviously old as well.
And then obviously I think you have
as Marvsky picks up a 3-second time, that's definitely going to cost him position at the end of the race.
Shadow's going to be happy. Obviously we're going to have to see Lewis Williams pit somewhat soon for the softs as well. He's going to be basically on the same strategy as Leclerc.
Yeah, probably in about 4 or 5 laps I think they'll probably.
But Shadows is going to be so happy with that. He might get a podium from that. So yeah, he'll be buzzing with that. He's going to have to obviously still push. But yeah, so we might see, especially with Lewis Williams pitting, coming out maybe around that Reflection, Crystal Maze, maybe even Ginger Rage sort of area. So they'll be looking to get some, maybe make a position up. Obviously, we're seeing Crystal Maze has, what was it, 9-second penalties? 9 seconds. Cryptic Alibi's got another 3-second. So that might mean, I guess, yeah, Smithy Almighty's too far away there to get near him, but.
Yeah, so Leclerc's got about a 9-second lead now.
When do you think he will pit? Around the 10 lap?
Yeah, as Mushroom said, I think it was Mushroom. Yeah, about lap 25, 26.
Yeah,
but he's not got many laps to make it
up
count.
for it. Yeah.
So he's gonna want to make that gap as big as possible.
I reckon lap 25. Give him 6 laps on the sauce.
I think maybe he'll do one more, 26, and I think he'll put him on. Just because he's got that free air at the minute, and I think that extra lap might help him out a little bit. Because he's obviously got the tyre advantage on Dylan at the minute anyway. Because they're probably
and the penalty advantage as well.
Yeah, they're probably on about the crossover point now. So I think it's coming down to a bit more raw speed in the car and the driver ability more than anything at the minute. Purely because the tyres are on that point where the older hards and the fresher mediums kind of get to a point where they do kind of neutralise each other in the sense of where that they will probably be about similar
pace. Yellow flag. So a red
and that's
ball.
Crystal Maze and Shatters.
Shatters, they've come together.
Oh no, that's
Shatters was in the perfect
damage as well.
Shatters was in perfect place to get maybe even a podium.
Yeah, he was having a really good race up to that point.
Oh no.
So Reflection is going to put himself up into P5. I think Ginger Rage is going to be quite happy with this.
Yeah, he might make a position.
Well, he's going to make up 2 positions with these 2 in the pits with front wind changes.
They're going to be surely on softs, maybe even mediums, but
you probably be putting on the mediums, I think, because I think the softs are just a little bit too far out. Yeah, both on the medium tyres to the end of the race now.
Ginger Rage up to 6th position. I'll be happy with that.
With no penalties as well.
No penalties.
Yeah, so.
I mean, Marvsky Reflection.
As Roscoe is in the pits as well, Sammy's left the session, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully he can get back in, but he isn't obviously
as
retired.
Roscoe's served a 5-second penalty. Oh no, I think it's because of Crystal Maze that the crew just weren't ready for him. The game's done. They're not up to scratch. They can't really double stack, unfortunately.
Oh no!
So he had to sit there for a couple of seconds, but
why has he? Oh, he's on the mediums already, wasn't he?
So. Yeah, so I think he's going to come out behind. That's cost him a few positions, unfortunately. I think.
No, I think he's safe.
No, yep, Smith and White and Diashi both get past him.
Surely he'll be able to make.
And then Kamara Racer as well. Kamara Racer gets past him as well. That's really cost him. It's probably cost him 3 positions.
Kamara Racer's not really easy to get past either.
He's got those fresher tyres, but yeah, it's cost him 3 positions on track. Oh, he's in the wall. Is Roscoe? Has he got more damage on that Ferrari? He did touch the wall there, just in the entrance, but I don't think the Ferrari has got any damage. And Kamara Racer's defending the inside line there, and he doesn't fight it, which is quite smart from him. He does have the tyre advantage. He has Kamara Racer doing so.
No!
He's put it in the wall.
That's not going to bring on a safety car. Oh, no, it hasn't, I don't think.
No, it hasn't yet. Oh, he got quite. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Kamara Racer.
Ooh. If that would have brought on a safety car, Leclerc could have pitted for softs then.
Yeah, definitely. But he's got up to a 10.5-second lead now as Leclerc. But Roscoe, obviously, now he's going to want to get past these guys as soon as he can. As Shadows is obviously, he's only in P9. It's a really shame because he was in P4, but it was P5, I think. But
there's a yellow flag.
Is that Ferrari with Crystal Maze? Yeah, he's got more damage than Crystal Maze has got another 3-second time penalty.
No.
So he's having to box again as Crystal Maze. And
he's gone wide.
Yeah, he's gone wide, and he's got a 10-second time penalty. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Crystal Maze.
From being, I think, was it P2 at the start? He's just having a bad race.
Yeah, he's having a really unfortunate race. He's
put
on the hard tyres as well. Unfortunately, having to change another nose. So Ferrari aren't going to be happy with the bill that they've got in parts for this weekend. They've seen him quite in the pits quite a few times.
But Ginger Rage has still got quite a decent gap from Cryptic Alibi as well as having that time penalty.
Yeah, all he needs to do now is keep it out.
To be honest, Cryptic Alibi, who started last, is made it into 7th.
Yeah, he definitely driver of the day at the minute. As we've got a bit on track.
Actually, no!
He's in the wall.
Oh no, that's not going to cause a safety car.
That was him in Roscoe. Diashi's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. That's really not his fault. That's just the game being really dumb because he's just blocked him. As Kamara Race has got a 5-second time penalty.
That's a yellow flag, but it's not going to be a safety car, is it?
No, I don't think so. Kamara Race is retired.
But his car's going to be on track.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. I think we would have seen it out by now. But Kamara Race is retired in the pits as well. As Jin is now spun on the last corner. I'm not quite. There's so much actions.
Yeah, I think people's tyres, they've tried to make it go as long as they can and just losing grip.
Well, Ginner's on fresh softs, so I think he might have just overheated them. Or maybe done the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really.
Oh my god, we're seeing people's getting. I think because it is a long race, maybe getting a bit frustrated here, especially the ones maybe outside the points or battling as hard as they can. Making silly mistakes.
Yeah,
it's another yellow flag.
I think
there's a Red Bull.
Booty Delight. No,
Booty Delight's near the points here.
Shadows. I think that must. Oh no, I think that
Booty Delight could be on his first ALR points here.
Yeah, Crystal Mason also has got a lot of. He's got
loads of penalties. I think Booty Delight's actually in the points.
Well, yeah, because I think Crystal Maze
has got. Crystal Maze has got like what 12-second penalty. I think if you get picked up an extra 3.
Yeah, but there's still about 6 laps to go, and Booty Delight does have wing damage, so hopefully he doesn't. Well, I think he's probably better off sticking out. But that's a lot of wing damage on that car. We've got a yellow flag of a Red Bull.
Oh my god, there's so much happening right now.
Ginner's going the wrong way on the track. He's spinning that car around.
Just reset your track. You're allowed to do it.
Roscoe's got a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, those soft tyres with those 2 spins. He's probably have to come in again, I think. Oh. Smithy. Apparently something happened to Smithy Almighty, did it? Diashi has left the session.
He's got no wing. Oh, he's got end plate damage.
He's got right end plate damage. Is he going to come in?
Yeah,
he's coming in for the soft tyres, I think. It's a shame there. And Booty Delight's in the pits as well.
Oh no, he was close. He was close to points though.
As Leclerc has now made the stop for the soft tyres. So it's crunch time now. Can Leclerc? Well, let's see what the time gap is. So Dylan does have the 6 seconds worth of penalties.
This is a lot of time to make up.
Yeah, Lewis Williams is in the pits as well. So right now, Leclerc has a 15-second gap to make up in 5 laps. Dylan's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So Leclerc needs to get that gap down to about 9 seconds. No, sorry.
6 seconds.
He needs to get it down to 6 seconds, my bad.
He's got to make basically 10 seconds up in 6 laps.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He's got 9 seconds to make up in 6 laps. So he needs to do about, I can't be bothered to do the maps, but he needs to make up a lot of time in not many laps.
I mean, he's already
taken about a second out of him just in a couple of corners. There's going to be a really, really interesting fight to the end of the race. Dylan on 16-lap hold hard tyres. I think he's definitely going to be able to make it to the race, end of the race on those hard tyres, because the medium could probably do about 20.
Got Shadows who's catching up to Cryptic Alibi, I think. That group depends on how many penalties each other's got. I think Cryptic's got quite a lot, so Shadows might make a position there.
Yeah, so
Ginger Rage is just in a race of his own, really, just going around.
Lewis Williams on those softs as well. He's in a really close up to the Reflection and Lewis and Marsky ahead of him. Well, just Reflection probably.
He's had like a mirror race with Leclerc, really, like strategy wise.
Yeah, they've both done a bit of an alternative strategy, but I don't think it's worked too well for Leclerc. But he's already gained about 2.5 seconds on this lap to Dylan, so he's really pushing that racing point.
Those softs die so quickly. Next lap he won't be as near as fast.
Well, he's got to gain another 6 seconds in 4 laps, and he's done about 3 seconds in this 1 lap.
I don't know if he'll be able to do that. Maybe Dylan might get another penalty. Maybe
if he does, then that's going to be it. But I think Dylan's going to be sweating in that car now. It's a really hot track as it is, but he's going to be quietly getting really nervous.
I'd be shaking, like trying to. I mean, yeah, your nerves would be going off the wall.
Yeah, P2 would still be an awesome job from Dylan because he didn't have the best of qualifying. I think he was in P6 or P5.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's had a podium before, but I don't think he's definitely not had a win. So.
I think he did have a podium in the first week as Booty Delight makes up a position as Vintage has come into the pits and put on the soft tyres as well. So Booty Delight is back up to 11th position.
Not
really
near
far
Crystal
behind
Maze,
Crystal
but
Maze.
11th position for Booty Delight. I think it's his best position so far.
Yeah, it would have been a really good result.
We got a Red Bull.
Ginner is in the wall.
He's messed up quite a lot at the end here.
Yeah, really. Well, these soft tyres maybe aren't working too well for the Red Bull. But wow, Leclerc's already got that gap down to 9.5 seconds. I think he's only got 3 or more seconds to go, so I think Leclerc can do this.
I mean, don't forget Dylan's hard's on 17 laps, so they're not very quick at all.
Well, I mean, we've still got about 4 laps to go, and Leclerc's just relentless. He's setting purple sector after purple sector, and he's massively closed that gap.
I think there's a ghost car in front which is going to give him DRS possibly.
It's his teammate of Sammy, but I think he's going to catch it before the detection point. I think, the detection point is just before the last corner, so it's not a massive. Crystal Maze has got another 3-second time penalty. Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he's caught it before the detection point. has it as Leclerc, but he's already put
It's already 7.6 seconds. I think he's going to get him.
Well, he needs to get it down to about 6 seconds because Dylan does have 6 seconds worth of penalties, but he's only got to do 1.4 seconds in just over 3 laps and not get himself a penalty. So he's got to kind of balance the two of closing that time down before the softs die, but he's pretty much
hard. There. The problem is, though, if pushing this hard, you can make a mistake and get a penalty easy. But he's had a faultless race, like from his own driving perspective, other than the game messing up in the pits. So he's had honestly a faultless race. You know,
Dylan's tyres look like they're starting to go a little bit as Lewis Williams has got up to P4. He's having a really, really good race. And he's got that Alfa Romeo up to P4 ahead of Reflection.
Leclerc's so close to getting into that 6 seconds.
Yeah,
I think
he's done it now as we have a yellow flag. Is that Roscoe? It's Crystal Maze.
It's Crystal Maze.
I don't think we'll see a safety car. I think it's too late out of the race.
If he pits, Booty Delight might be in for his first points.
Yeah, I think he could be.
Oh no!
Shadders is in the wall, and Shadders is out.
Oh no! This isn't going to bring a safety car, is it?
We could potentially see one for 1 lap.
Virtual safety car.
That's going to help Dylan out a little bit, but Leclerc is within that in that window now to get the Grand Prix win, and that will help.
If anything, that'll
help Leclerc out a little bit. Because we'll be able to cool down. We'll be able to cool him down and
make him last.
Yeah, well, I think they were easily last anyway, but we'll be able to cool him down a little bit and not take too much out of him. But it's going to be interesting now to see.
Such a shame from Shadows, though.
If Dylan can get this virtual safety car restart perfect, he might be able to gain a few seconds on Leclerc, and that could potentially do it, but he needs to be careful to not get a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, I think a few drivers might get that.
I'd quite like to see Leclerc win this on track, to be honest, because it could make us a really spicy ending to the race. He's got 3 laps left of the race to go.
As it stands, they could be on the line crossing past each other, so it's going to be so close on track.
Yeah, so Crystal Maze is in the pits. So will we see Booty Delight come out ahead of him?
I think it might be too big of a gap.
Yeah, right. That's the virtual safety car is over, and no one did get a drive-through penalty. Good. I don't think we will see Booty Delight.
Leclerc's still got it with under 5 seconds now, so he's pushing hard.
Yeah, so Booty Delight isn't too far behind Crystal Maze. I think he might come.
Crystal Maze has got a lot of penalties, don't forget as well.
Yeah, that is true.
So if he just sticks with him, it's going to be such a good race for Booty Delight. He's passed him. Is he not? I mean, what's happened in here?
Yeah, he has.
What's happened to Crystal Maze?
I think he might have made a mistake on the edge of the exit of the pit lane. But Booty Delight's up to P9.
Well done, Booty. Come on.
Is that someone else? Oh, that's just Shadows.
Even if Crystal Maze gets past him, he's on fresh softs, then he's got so many penalties. I think Booty Delight just has a clean race.
So they closed that gap down to 3.5 seconds now with just under 2.5 laps to go. So Dylan... Yeah, I think the race is pretty much over for Dylan unless Leclerc gets a few
he's still going to have
penalties.
a podium, which is incredible. But
yeah, the win's not going to be there for him, unfortunately.
I mean, I think that might move Dylan into the top 3.
Is that Crystal Maze around again?
Oh my god!
The drivers really aren't liking these soft compound tyres, I don't think.
No,
they're just not...
I mean, we've seen, especially on those first lap or two, just not have any grip.
But we're seeing Booty Delight in P9 with no penalties.
That's incredible from Booty Delight.
Yeah, and Smithy Almighty about 7.5 seconds
I think they're both going to get their first points. Yeah, they are. Booty Delight, as it stands, and Smithy Almighty are going to get their first points.
Crystal Maze has retired from the session, and I believe that was on track as well.
It's too late for a safety car.
Yeah, so 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Leclerc is only 1.8 seconds behind Dylan, but Dylan does have 6 seconds worth of penalties.
Right there, look.
But I think just for a bit of pride, Dylan's going to want to try and keep this on track. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. Leclerc is really, really... closing in on Dylan now, and I think Leclerc does really deserve it, to be honest. He got held up quite a few seconds in the pit lane from a McLaren retiring in the pit lane.
I'm not sure how many seconds Marsky has, but Lewis Williams might be on for a P3
I think it's only 1, I believe.
Is it only?
Yeah, it's only one.
So as it stands, Marsky's going to get P3.
That's an awesome result from Marsky, getting some solid points on the board again.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a good battle here. I mean, Leclerc's just going to have those soft tyres, going to get past Dylan easy, I think. But it's whether Dylan just wants to make it difficult for him. Can he get it here, maybe?
Yeah, I think he could get it done here, but the DRS zone in the straight isn't too long. But he's going to send it.
Go on.
He's sending it on Dylan. Yeah, he's made that. Those soft tyres are so much better than 20-lap-old hard tyres. And fair enough to Leclerc, he has made this 2-stop strategy work.
He's driven an amazing race.
Yeah, he's had an amazing race as Leclerc, I think. The race didn't really want him to win, and he did get messed over a bit by the game. But I think that's kind of like a Lewis Hamilton kind of mentality of, it is what it is. You get your head down, you crack on with it, you put the laps in, you do your best, and I think that's exactly what Leclerc has done today.
How many penalties has Reflection got?
I think he's only got the one as well. As Leclerc's celebrating a little bit early.
A lap early.
Yeah, I don't think he realises. Yeah, I think he does probably, but sorry, where's the penalties situation? There we go.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anyone else that Sir Dave? No. I mean, Lewis Williams has only got 1 point currently. Yeah, that's a brilliant race from him.
Leclerc's super happy with himself. He's already celebrating a lap early, so he knows that he's already won the race. As long as he doesn't get any penalties on this lap, but he's had a really, really stellar drive.
This is something you would do, in it as well.
I wouldn't do this.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. You wouldn't do donuts on the final lap, would you, in front of the start finish? Would you?
No,
you wouldn't do something like that.
Not in Monaco, especially. Yeah, I mean, hell of a race from Leclerc. I think he's driven perfect race today.
He hasn't made one mistake.
He hasn't, but his team and the game has ruined it a little bit for him. But he's fought back.
If anything, that's made his win even better.
When he's got the Grand Slam, he's got the pole position. He was rapid in qualifying. He's done the two-stop strategy, which is the slower strategy as well, and he's made it work. So he really, really had the pace today as Leclerc. Yeah, and he's fought back after.
Rather than him just having a boring race out in front, which is what he probably would have had, he's actually won it back on merit. So, I mean, hats off. That is an amazing race.
Just from his body language and the way he's driving that car, you can tell that he's ecstatic about this drive. And I hats off to you, Leclerc. You've done an amazing job. And he comes across the line any second now, and he's going to win the Singapore Grand Prix. And he's there celebrating with his team, as they probably would be coming across the pit lane. But yeah, Dylan in P2 there as well with the 6 seconds of penalties. He did a good job to fight back after boxing.
Well done as well for P3. Lewis Williams so close on maybe that possible podium, but
Lewis Williams crossed the line. Marvsky comes across the line and finishes in P3. And Lewis Williams does a really good job. No penalties as well. Hats off to him. 4.5 seconds behind Marvsky. Reflection there in the Haas from. No, sorry, that was Cryptic Alibi, wasn't it? Reflection coming across the line. That's Sammy. P5 and Ginger Rage.
Incredible from, I think, P14,
13, I think it was. From Ginger Rage.
Get some good points.
No penalties as well. I couldn't even manage that around here.
And I think we're going to see Cryptic Alibi going to get driver of the day starting from last.
Yeah, to P7, that's a hell of a drive. Roscoe, the championship leader, only in P8, so he's not going to score many points. And I think we're going to see a new championship leader of Leclerc in the process.
Dylan will move up as well. He's fourth at the minute. He'll move up into the top 3 maybe as well.
Yeah, Roscoe comes across the line now, and he finishes in 8th.
Really delighted. He's got his first points of the season. So is Smithy Almighty.
Well, he's still got half a lap to go yet.
No, he's finished because they've been lapped.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Booty Delight in 9th position. Smithy Almighty coming across the line in P10 as well in the final points pen position.
So yeah, brilliant race from all the top 10 drivers and beyond, to be honest. So yeah, absolutely brilliant race, and well done to Cryptic Alibi for driver of the day. Incredible from P19, which was last place. And Leclerc owning and making that win, just him. So
yeah, there he is on the top step of the podium. He's getting that champagne, and he's celebrating that win. He really deserved it today. He fought back after all the issues that he had with the pit lane and doing the alternative two-stop strategy. An incredible job from him today. I'm not quite sure if we're going to get him in the box with us, but I think the invites have been sent out if he wanted to join us up here. Really good drive with the Racing Point team.
We've got Marsky in the commentary box.
Wait, so we've got I'm just going to run through the classification order. We've got Leclerc there in P1. Really good job there from him. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. We've got Dylan in P2. Marvsky in P3, awesome job him from there from P6. Lewis Williams starting P15 to finish in P4. Reflection in P5. Ginger Age in P6 with no penalties. Cryptic Alibi in 7th. Roscoe in P8. Booty Delight scoring his first points of the season in P9. Same with Smithy Almighty finishing in 10th, getting a point for the first time this season. Vintage in P11, just missing out on points. Jinner in P12, Sammy in P13, who had a bit of a nightmare race, along with Crystal Maze in P14, Shadows in P15, Diashi having a bit of a shocker as well, unfortunately, in P16, Wire Racer having a bit of a bad race too in P17, Silent Shifting in P18, and Theo having a few issues early on and disconnecting it in P19. So what a great race there today from everyone. But have we got anyone in the party? I think we might have. Is it Marvsky and?
Oh, we have Dylan and Marvsky. If you want to talk to Dylan first.
Yeah, we'll go to Marvsky first.
Okay.
Finish from the third step. But yeah, Marvsky, awesome job today. I think you kind of kept it clean. Did your own kind of battle and kept it clean. Yeah, like I said, and did the one stop and got that third position. Talk us through your race.
Yeah. Basically tried to do the one stop because it was less messing about in the traffic and stuff. We haven't been hard downforce, I wasn't very fast on the straights, but forgot to do my downforce as well on my second pit stop, so I couldn't really attack on the hards. I was super slow on the hards, but Lewis gave me squeaky bum time when he pitted for the softs and came at me.
Yeah, it was quite close towards the end. I think it's about 4.5 seconds, but you just managed to keep it in P3, so that's 2 P3s in a row now for you. You're getting some solid points on the board, so do you think you can potentially go for the championship?
I think the championship's out of reach, to be fair, like Crystal Racers or Crystal Maze and then Camo Racer. Them guys are just too quick.
Well, you are in the top 3, and especially after this week, I think, so you're definitely within it, so I wouldn't give up all hope so far.
Yeah, there's a long old way to go, so I think, with a few races, 6 or 7 races I think there's left in this season. I think if you carry on getting these points, I think you could definitely be in there.
Right, to get in the top 3 of the championship, that's the aim.
Yeah, I hope you get promoted up into silver for next season. It'd be good to see you in a faster grid.
Oh, cheers, man.
Yeah, we'll move on to Dylan now. So yeah, Dylan, you had a really good race pitted under that virtual safety car, which kind of benefited you quite a lot because you did gain quite a few seconds, but towards the end you were struggling a lot on those hard tyres, and you almost kept Leclerc at bay, but obviously those penalties did make a bit of a difference, but it was really close if it wasn't for that. Talk us through your race, mate.
What do you call it? The 2 penalties I was given was killed to me. One of them is corner call. I had to let Marvsky by because I had to take evasive action. And what do you call it? I took a fan chase under the VSC. It was me and Crystal Maze went in for the hards, and what do you call it? Yeah, Leclerc is very strong on this track.
Yeah, he was really, really quick today, wasn't he? You did a really good job though to try and keep him behind you. I think he just was a bit of a class of his own today, getting that pole position and the race win as well. He fought back. He did a really good job. But I think you did a really good job as well of keeping that in P2, considering you weren't as quick in qualifying as you usually were in P5, but you did make up for it in the race.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is one of my difficult tracks in pace rise, but I would say in the race itself, the strategy is key around this track, because either a 2-stop or 1-stop, it still works either way, like Leclerc did.
Yeah, we were quite confused when he did the 2-stop because we all thought the 1-stop was going to be a lot better just because, like you said, of track position and everything. But yeah, he did make it work. But you did a really good job today, and hopefully we can see you both scoring some good points next week out in Russia.
I thought Dylan's hards are going to drop off towards the end. I thought I was going to catch him eventually in my fresh hards.
Yeah, I think a lot of the comments were saying that as well. But yeah, great job from both of you lads. But we're going to wrap up the stream there. But yeah, hopefully you both did a great job this weekend. Fair play to Leclerc, obviously getting the win as well. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you all next week out in Russia.
All right, cheers. See you in a bit.
Cheers.